The God-tier internet cafe in one piece. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 076. Early one morning, Wang Fei opened the door of the internet cafe with excitement. Today is the day of the Crossfire release, so a large crowd of people came to the internet cafe early in the morning and waited in line when Wang Fei opened them. He was immediately startled, and there was a large group of players standing outside the door, queuing up from the door of the internet cafe, and the line was 2 kilometers long. My god! That's how many people there are! Wang Fei's eyelids jumped. However, Wang Fei wanted to say something more, but he was already overwhelmed by the crowd like a sea. At the bar, Wang Fei looked at the people who were suppressed by the black in the internet cafe and couldn't help but be happy. The release of online games represents a cross-era significance, which can connect players from every corner of the world to play together, so the significance is also extremely significant. Crossfire is a game that is more interesting than Counter-Strike CS 1.6 standalone, with more gameplay, more game modes, a more complete weapons system, and more refined graphics. After the release of Crossfire, Wang Fei announced that Counter-Strike CS would be removed from the internet cafe game, and all permanent guns, equipment, etc. purchased by players in Counter-Strike CS would all be copied into Crossfire at one time, and would not cause losses to any player. So, with no choice, and a better experience and no losses, he moved to the Crossfire without any objection and delete the Counter-Strike CS. In fact, Wang Fei has no loss. After all, it is all his own game, and what loss is not lost. But having said that, Wang Fei is not as conscientious as everyone thinks. For example, the M4A1, grenades, etc. that Barry originally needed to buy in Counter-Strike CS were all turned into new clothes after crossing and gave away for nothing. Some other guns can be purchased only for ordinary gold coins, and there is no need to charge money at all. In other words, these people who originally charged money to buy equipment in Counter-Strike CS still have to spend money to buy a weapon after they arrive in Crossfire. The so-called Counter-Strike CS equipment is all copied to Crossfire, but Wang Fei did it to calm the people's anger, and even if someone raises doubts later, Wang Fei can say, the arsenal is more diverse. Prevarication for the reason or that sentence. There is only one internet cafe. Do not accept other families to play. In short, a dictatorship is hanging. The place to put money is not only reflected in the new equipment. There is weapon durability. All equipment has durability and will have a certain amount after use. When the durability is exhausted, the weapon will be unusable, and the equipment can only be used at a cost of 500 berry to repair the damage. Therefore, there are also many players who are angry that Wang Fei is too good at pit money, and Wang Fei just laughs and stops. The game is getting closer and closer to reality, and the reality is that the gun is not broken, and the bad gun is not repaired. One sentence left everyone speechless. Player, you have a point. I'm speechless. In fact, internet cafes and games have gradually affected the people of this town, which no one will deny, because games have become part of this town. And players feel that something is missing for a day without going online, so even if the game pits a little money, it's nothing. In fact, playing games is mainly for fun. Spending a little money can make yourself happy, then what's not to be happy about? Inside the bar, Wang Fei opened the task list to view the task, the second phase of the main quest requirements. 20,000 registered players in the Crossfire closed beta. Mission reward: 300 sets of computer sets. Turn on the virtual reality game mode test qualification. Current mission completion, Crossfire registration 13218/20000. It's only been morning. The number of registrations has already reached nearly 6,000, and it seems that the second stage of the task will be completed tomorrow at most. Wang Fei smiled with satisfaction. Inside the internet cafe, with the opening of Crossfire, all players were delighted and excited, because they saw not only the release of a new game, but also the beginning of the online game to change the world. They can see how much this epical change will change the future. At the bar, watching the recharge amount of Crossfire's line getting higher and higher, Wang Fei had already laughed. In one morning, the income brought by crossing the line of fire has reached 200 million berry. And more than 100 million of them are from recharging Q to buy new guns and equipment. Sure enough, after experiencing the fun brought by charging money, these players can't resist buying and buying when they see new weapons. Ha ha ha! Wang couldn't help but be proud. Time passed quickly, and in the blink of an eye it was already dark. Wang Fei had also closed the door. Roughly calculated, today's one-day income alone, including network fees and queue recharge, has already earned him 500 million berry. 500 million berry a day. What a concept! When Wang Fei closed the door, the next moment the sound of the system sounded, ling. At present, the number of registrations in the line of fire has reached 20,000. Congratulations to the host for completing the second phase of the mission. You've been rewarded with the second stage of the mission. 300 computer sets and access to the virtual reality game. Please complete the third stage of the task as soon as possible, when the system will continue to publish new tasks for you. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Philo Chapter 077. In the blink of an eye, 3 days have passed since the opening of the Crossfire line. In the past 3 days, the enthusiasm of players can be said to have risen to a very high level. Originally, in their opinion, Crossfire should only be an upgraded version of Counter-Strike CS, and the rest are at best upgrades on the screen, and there are some new weapons launched by the network administrator in order to pit money. But when they actually played, they discovered this game, Real Him. Mom, is so much fun. Compared to Counter-Strike CS, Crossfire not only has more gameplay, but also some of the latest weapons have managed to attract a lot of attention. Originally, in Counter-Strike CS, because the number of weapons was too small, players had no choice, because there were so many equipment. Even if you spent money to buy it, people could also spend money to buy it. After all, it is not expensive. This made some local tyrant players dissatisfied. Originally they had no opinion when they only had knife fights, but with the opening of the shootout, they also experienced the fun brought by charging money, and the crushing brought by charging money. But as more and more people top up money, the crushing feeling that some local tycoon players get when they top up has disappeared, because more and more people have reached the same height as themselves by charging money. The superiority of local tycoon players has disappeared. However, there are so few guns in Counter-Strike CS that they have nowhere to spend their money. Some local tyrant players began to complain to Wang Fei a long time ago, "Why don't you come up with props that charge money? I want to charge money, I want to crush," or something like that. Wang Fei didn't have the slightest way to do this, because there were only so many games, so he could only let the local tyrant players wait a little longer, telling them that they would soon be able to experience the fun of charging money. In fact, Wang Fei also understands that every game cannot lack local tyrant players, and it can even be said that every game must have local tyrant players. Sometimes it is even magnified to say that a local tycoon player in a game charges 2/3 of the entire game. Looking back at the game of the Earth now, no matter when and which company, when revising the game, you must consider the ideas of the local tyrant players. Try your best to pet a sum of money from the local tyrant players, and those civilians who do not charge money, but still move bricks in the game every day. Game planning is to try to suppress, every major activity is to try to make money, and civilian players can get very few benefits in the event. Of course, there are many players who complain that the planning is too pitted, but for the planning, performance is the most important. 10 players who don't charge money can't equal 1 player 10 never charge money, and desperately swipe money in your game to exchange for RMB and increase your game clothes. The player under pressure and the local tycoon player with strong Krypton gold, between the two, you are planning. Which one do you choose? There is no doubt that the latter is chosen, and Wang Fei also had this idea, so he simply deleted the Counter-Strike CS and opened a new Crossfire, because between the two, honestly, in terms of future and profitability, it is stronger to cross the line of fire. What's more, the task of the third stage can no longer be consumed, and this task must be completed as soon as possible to clarify the next goal. With these intentions in mind, the internet cafe continued to operate in a chorus of scolding. Some civilian players scolded Wang Fei for pit money, while some local tyrant players praised Wang Fei for finally having a place where they could top up and pretend. For the reaction of these players, Wang Fei has no feelings. As a game planner, how can there be no reason not to be scolded? The planner wants to be cheeky, as long as he can get what he wants. What about being scolded? Don't think about how many people greet the whole family every day in TX Margot. If you want to talk about the people who have been scolded the most in the Celestial Empire, you really have to count this Majed the most. But people are not still supposed to eat and drink, and still make money every day. However, with being scolded every day, and still being able to hear the scolding with his ears, Wang Fei couldn't sit still, and he decided to give these players a deep experience. The next day, Wang Fei announced to all players again, Crossfire Hero level weapon AK-47 Fire Killin. It has been publicly available for sale on the mall. The price is open and transparent, no haggling and no price reduction. 88.88 million berry. On the same day, Wang Fei also recorded a game video specifically for Fire Killin, and spent 20 million berry to rent the right to use the big screen of the square for a day, which was used to play the promotional video of Fire Killin on a loop, and a game will also constantly insert advertisements about the Fire Unicorn. That day, countless people saw this gun. Groove, this weapon is really cool. Yes, unicorn armor gun body, blood red flowing eyes, super large magazine, faster gun cutting speed, and experience bonus. It's really 666, it's 666 indeed. Lion Groove can actually be melee assault. Wow. This melee spurt is farther than a baseball bat. This weapon is really hanging. If you get it, you will definitely be able to pretend to be forced for a few years. Come on, come on. Isn't it money? Louds has it. I'll see how much. Nima. 88.88 million berry. Why not grab it? Loudza doesn't buy it. Stupid B will spend 88.88 million berry to buy this. However, Wang Fei from the bar just smiled. A day later, Wang Fei issued another announcement. The hero level weapon of the Crossfire line Dragon Slayer has been publicly put on the shelves for sale. The price of Dragon Slayer 88.88 million berry. After the two weapons were put on the shelf, Wang Fei patted Nami on the shoulder. Krypton Gold Warrior, it's time for you to play again. Tell those players who are not willing to top up their money what they should do. Nami saluted. Yes, husband. These days are in good shape. After waking up, continue 4, maybe 5 more. The 100 Cities League will also start soon. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Philo Chapter 078. Half a day has passed since the Fire Unicorn went on sale, but it still hasn't sold a handful. For the average player, a little Krypton Gold may be acceptable, but they should take out 88.88 million berry at once to buy a handful of in-game robbery. This is more difficult to accept. The newspaper of Pirate World is about 200 berry, while the newspaper of Earth is about 2 yuan apiece. If you convert it, it means that Wang Fei bought a handful of Fire Unicorns for 880,000 yuan, so you can imagine how many people on Earth can throw 880,000 into the game to buy a gun. However, the reality is always not short of local tyrants, and Wang Fei does not plan to really buy many people. As long as this gun can really sell 1 or 2, he is also satisfied. Moreover, Wang Fei hung up hero-level weapons for sale, but he didn't plan to make this Fire Unicorn a civilian weapon. What he wanted to do was to make the Fire Unicorn a symbol of a local tyrant player, so that every local tyrant player could feel the supreme glory after purchasing this weapon. This is also the reason why Wang Fei made the price of the Fire Unicorns so high. Only the sale is expensive, and the people who have it are few, and only in this way, those who have this weapon will have a sense of superiority. After all, you spend money, you can't pretend to be forced. Who'll charge you with money? Now, the weapon has been on the shelf. I believe that there are already local tyrant players who are hesitating whether to buy it or not, and Wang Fei also understands this. So now only a key fuse is needed to solve all problems. What is the favorite of local tycoon players? Pretend. Can't stand that others are better than themselves, so they are still the strongest when no one has bought the Fire Unicorn yet. Since this is the case, then everything is easy to do. At this time, only one player who can crush everyone is needed to use these local tyrant players on the field. As for who plays, without a doubt, nature is our great official trust. Krypton Gold Warrior. In the bar, Wang Fei's fingers connected to the light curtain. May I ask the network administrator, do you want to give the following equipment to the player Krypton Gold Warrior? Yes, the equipment has been given away. In the room, Nami clicked on the mailbox in front of the screen. Receive all mail. Here, it's a room for team battles on the transport ship. Artillery fire was intense, and countless bullets whistled in all directions. This is suddenly an announcement at the top of the game screen. Announcement: players with hero-level weapons enter the game. And all players in the room will enjoy a 30% bonus to experience points. At the same time, Wang Fei clicked on the light curtain again, and all the computers that were booting in the East China Sea issued such an announcement at the same time. System announcement: the first player with a male-level weapon has been born. Click the button below to watch the local tyrant god and heroic weapon. At the same time, the top 10 players who purchase hero-level weapons can also enjoy the glory of the announcement and broadcast of the full server of the system. Fire Unicorn. Domineering direct election, glory wisdom. It is the best choice for you to show your nobility. The 3 words fire unicorn are really eye-catching, because everyone knows what this word represents after being captured. When everyone saw the announcement, they were curious about who would buy such a gun with so much money. When clicking on the transmission link, a live broadcast of the first perspective of the fire unicorn bearer appeared on people's screens. I saw that in the transport ship, the fire unicorn shot 2 bullets, and shot a bloody enemy on the spot. Announcement: player AstraZeneca is killed by player Krypton Gold Warrior is killed with a fire unicorn. There was an uproar. This gun is so powerful. 2 but kill 1. Is this still a rifle? It is. Alice, wait, how can this person's name be so familiar? Krypton Gold Warrior? Wait, isn't this the first person to buy a gun and load it in the previous knife fighting era? As soon as you said it, I remembered it. It was really him. I didn't expect him to come out and pretend again now. In the game, the Krypton Gold Warrior did not say a word, and the fire unicorn in his hand was still constantly charging. The muzzle of the fire unicorn spewed evil flames, and the Krypton Gold Warrior rushed straight from the resurrection point to the enemy's headquarters, shooting more than a dozen enemies in one trip. And the already inferior team also began to turn over because of the arrival of the Krypton Gold Warriors, and everyone rushed to the enemy's headquarters together, presenting a one-sided form. This is, 2 enemies have just been resurrected and came out together from the doorway, just in time to be loaded with Krypton Gold Warriors. At a critical moment, the Krypton Gold Warrior pressed the mouse, and the special melee attack of the fire key ring appeared. The unicorn thorn instantly attacked and stabbed towards the 2 enemies. Announcement: player Cultivator was stabbed to death by the player Krypton Gold Warrior stabbed to death with a fire unicorn. Announcement: player National Color Danxiang was stabbed to death by the player Krypton Gold Warrior stabbed to death with a fire unicorn. People crouching in front of screens around the world are in an uproar again. It's also too changeable. It's up. Yes. Even if you have a rifle and a melee attack, the attack power is still so high. 1 shot to kill 2 people. This is more powerful than the military shovel that Louds bought for 300,000 berry. There is a lot of discussion outside the game, and the Krypton Gold Warrior in the game is holding a hero-level weapon to lead his teammates to charge countless times, during which the Krypton Gold Warrior shot countless enemies. In the end, under the attention of everyone, the Krypton Gold Warrior relied on the power of the fire unicorn to lead his teammates to victory. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Philo Chapter 079. In the game, in the high-profile situation, the Krypton Gold Warrior is leading his teammates to victory. But he did not quit the game, and the live broadcast will obviously not be closed until the Krypton Gold Warrior does not quit the game. I saw that the Krypton Gold Warrior in the game exited the room after the victory and selected other lists in the channel. After clicking the mouse a few times, the Krypton Gold Warrior chose a biochemical mode to enter. After waiting for another game to restart, the Krypton Gold Warrior also entered the game. The players in the game obviously know that this pretender who is being watched by tens of thousands of people has entered the game. So before the biochemical ghost appeared countdown, a bunch of players in the room crowded to the side of the Krypton Gold Warrior, constantly throwing their weapons to the Krypton Gold Warrior, thinking about whether they could exchange weapons with the Krypton Gold Warrior so that they could experience the feeling of hero-level weapons. However, the weapons under the feet of the Krypton Gold Warrior were already piled up, and he ignored anyone. Finally, the countdown is over. At this time, something more embarrassing happened. A small part of the crowd turned into bioghosts and were attacked in crowded conditions. Soon, everyone in the room except the Krypton Gold Warrior was infected and turned into biochemical ghosts. The Krypton Gold Warrior seemed to be taken aback, and he hurriedly jumped down from a high place, temporarily getting rid of a group of biochemical ghosts. However, a group of biochemical ghosts did not intend to let him go, so the following scene appeared: more than a dozen biochemical ghosts lined up in a large line, waving their claws to constantly chase and kill the fleeing Krypton Gold Warrior. The Krypton Gold Warrior was also stunned. He jumped up and down, like a monkey trick, and finally jumped on a cleverly located high ground. This place is easy to defend and difficult to attack. And the Krypton Gold Warriors can already give it a go. Squat. Krypton Gold Warrior pulled the trigger. The fire unicorn muzzle sprayed again, shot out the flame of sin. Tap da. A barrage of bullets swept directly towards the biochemical ghost intending to climb up and attack. Poof. A shuttle bullet went down, and the biochemical ghost was directly knocked to the ground. The onlookers in front of the screen froze. Is this beaten to death? I rely on, what a death. Isn't it? I remember he seemed to have fired less than 6 rounds. How many hero-level weapons are there? 6 bullets kill the biochemical ghost. In the game, all the biochemical ghosts are fluted, and the Krypton Gold Warriors are also fluted. Obviously, everyone, including the Krypton Gold Warrior, did not realize that this fire unicorn was so powerful. After a long time, the Krypton Gold Warrior silently typed out this paragraph. Strange, this weapon is so powerful, then what else am I hiding? After speaking, the Krypton Gold Warrior jumped down directly, holding the fire unicorn and shooting at all the biochemical ghosts that could be seen. One after another biochemical ghosts fell to the ground, and they were shot to death by the Krypton Gold Warriors with fire unicorns, and then they could only wait for the resurrection time to resurrect and fight again. However, soon, the Krypton Gold Warrior discovered that the biochemical ghost can be resurrected at will, but his bullets are not infinite finally. The Krypton Gold Warrior made up his mind and tried melee combat. This is a biochemical ghost who is chasing and killing the Krypton Gold Warrior. He constantly waving his claws, vainly thinking that after grabbing a Krypton Gold Warrior, he will end the pretense home of the Krypton Gold Warrior. The Krypton Gold Warrior stepped back in small steps, and after firing 2 bullets, he suddenly moved forward, and the unicorn thorn of the fire unicorn in his hand suddenly stabbed forward. Poof! The sound of knives digging into flesh. The biochemical ghost fell to the ground. Announcement: Player Hookah Monk is stabbed to death by player Krypton Gold Warrior with a fire unicorn. Biochemical ghosts cannot be resurrected after being killed by melee combat. In front of the screen, all the onlookers could not open their mouths. When did the biochemical ghost become so brittle? 2 more bullets stabbed again, and this hangs? Is it that my eyes are broken, or is this hero-level weapon really so powerful? Off the screen, everyone is still talking, and the Krypton Gold Warrior in the screen stabbed an opponent to death. Announcement: Player Poplar Shuzi is stabbed to death by the player Krypton Gold Warrior with a fire unicorn. Biochemical ghosts cannot be resurrected after being killed by melee combat. This weapon is so powerful. So I'm not blind. In the game, everything changes after the Krypton Gold Warrior stabbed 2 people to death. Biochemical mode. Biochemical ghosts have a super high amount of health. Under normal circumstances, even a bullet from a magazine may not kill a ghost, and the ghost only needs to scratch the enemy with its claws to immediately infect and assimilate the enemy. So it stands to reason that normal people can't see the biochemical ghost running when they are hostile to the biochemical ghost, and who would stupidly follow the ghost to fight in close combat? However, today's appearance of the Krypton Gold Warrior made everyone realize that it turns out that he can play melee combat with ghosts. After the Krypton Gold Warrior stabbed 2 biochemical ghosts to death in a row, the in-game art style changed dramatically. It seems that the Krypton Gold Warrior caused a deterrent effect after stabbing the 2 ghosts to death. In short, I don't know who brought ahead, and the ghosts who were originally lined up to chase and kill the Krypton Gold Warrior suddenly turned around, began to escape. Yes, you read that right. A group of biochemical ghosts escapes in the face of an enemy. One of the most dramatic images in history was born. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Philo Chapter 080. In the game, a game that claims to be the most dramatic and embarrassing in the history of Crossfire, takes place in the most anticipated situation. This game, which is still often mentioned 100 years later, is already a story that gun game players talk about after dinner. I saw that the humans in the biochemical mode who should have been chased and killed by the biochemical ghosts now began to fight back with guns. After the Krypton Gold Warrior stabbed 2 biochemical ghosts in a row, all the ghosts panicked and then they started running away. What an embarrassing scene. A dozen biochemical ghosts should have been the masters of the battlefield, but now they are running away in a long line, and a player named Krypton Gold Warrior holds a cool-shaped gun, and while chasing and killing, he constantly stabs the enemy's fart with a talented unicorn. Share, poof, 2 clanging knives into flesh sounded. A biochemical ghost fell. Announcement: Player kill him was stabbed to death by the player Krypton Gold Warrior stabbed to death with a fire unicorn. Biochemical ghosts cannot be resurrected after being killed by melee combat. The biochemical ghosts run madly, while the Krypton Gold Warriors are crazy chases. Whenever the sound of a knife entering the flesh is heard, it represents the death of a biochemical ghost. Announcement: Player kill without charging money was stabbed to death by the player Krypton Gold Warrior stabbed to death with a fire unicorn. Biochemical ghosts cannot be resurrected after being killed by melee combat. Announcement: Player Colonel Chicken Drumstick is stabbed to death by player Krypton Gold Warrior with a fire unicorn. Biochemical ghosts cannot be resurrected after being killed by melee combat. Announcement. Player no money can only play ghosts was stabbed to death by the player. Krypton Gold Warrior stabbed to death with a fire unicorn. Biochemical ghosts cannot be resurrected after being killed by melee combat. A series of announcements kept popping up in the upper right corner, and finally only the last ghost was left on the field. The Krypton Gold Warrior seems to have played enough, so he is not in a hurry to kill the other party, and only shoots at it with the last bullet after being resurrected 18 times. The last surviving biochemical ghost seems to be unable to stand being teased anymore, so at this moment it bursts into all its potential without saying a word. The biochemical ghost rushed directly towards the Krypton Gold Warrior, and after magically dodging the Krypton Gold Warrior's 3 consecutive shots, the biochemical ghost directly pounced, raised its claws and grabbed it. Bang! The claws of the biochemical ghost slammed into the Golden Warrior, and a muffled sound sounded, but when its gaze looked at the Krypton Gold Warrior again, it found that he was not yet died. Poof! The Krypton Gold Warrior unicorn thorn out, and the last biochemical ghost fell to the ground. Announcement. Player Salty Fish vs. Player Krypton Gold Warrior stabbed to death with a fire unicorn. Biochemical ghosts cannot be resurrected after being killed by melee combat. The player Krypton Gold Warrior shouted, "Ha ha ha ha, silly, right? He has a chemical protection suit that can block the next infection 600,000 berry apiece, you know? Ha ha ha, it's so good to charge money." Everyone in front of the screen is silent, because such a battle is the first time they have seen it for a while. Everyone didn't know how to evaluate it this time. The Krypton Gold Warriors in the game seemed to be tired of playing. Exited the room again. He typed the following words in the shouting box in the lower right corner. "It's fun to cross the line of fire, and the hero level weapons are so strong. I want to top up. I want to buy. Then he clicked on them all in full view, and people glanced at the balance of the Krypton Gold Warriors. Groove. How rich is this man? There's still 100 million Q in balance. My dear mother." Ignoring the exclamations of others, I saw that the Krypton Gold Warrior clicked into the weapons mall and clicked on the melee weapons column after finding the hero level weapon, Dragon Slayer. The mouse clicked and chose to buy. That's right, the Krypton Gold Warrior spent another 88.88 million berry to buy a hero level weapon in full view. Let me see how stakes this hero level weapon really is. After the Krypton Gold Warrior typed such a paragraph, he immediately selected a personal knife battle room to enter. Personal knife fighting, that is, a game that can only be used with a knife. You can fight whoever you see. There are no rules for teammates. Simple and crude in the game. I saw the Krypton Gold Warrior holding a dark gold short knife with a golden dragon relief rampaging through the map, and he cut one when he saw one in short. He is like a novice, and the knife in his hand never stops. However, it was such a small white behavior, but no opponent dared to underestimate him, and even chose to flee immediately after seeing the figure of the Krypton Gold Warrior. As for why, this is because every time the Krypton Gold Warrior presses the right button to hit hard, a circle of golden blades will be shot around the body. This knife radius is 1 meter and 5, and it will die when touched, and no one dares to approach at all. Therefore, in the map, the Krypton Gold Warriors are like a humanoid meat grinder. Say 1 to kill 1. There is no opponent at all. Double kill. 3 kills. 4 kills. 5 kills. 6 kills. A barrage of reminders is numbing. The nearly 10,000 players watching in front of the screen were all silent. For the first time, they felt a gap in doubting life. This is also their first awakening. It turns out that the first in the world is easy and difficult. The easy thing is that as long as you charge money, you can be the first in the world, and the rare thing is that 88.88 million berry is not something that anyone can pay out. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Philo Chapter 081. I protest. Why is the gap between charging money and not charging money so big? That's right. What is the point of playing the game with this one-sided abuse? I also object. Advocate fair play. Many players shout in internet cafes or in games, and questions and protests continue to brush the screen in the game. As a game manager, Wang Fei just sat in front of the bar, letting the players swipe the screen, but did not say a word at this time. The Krypton Gold Warrior turned on the microphone in the game and spoke, and a man's voice came out. Nami used a voice changer. What a bunch of idiots. The Krypton Gold Warrior laughed as soon as these words came out. The players became even more angry, and the scolding and protests became even louder. It's just a group of people who are reluctant to charge money, and if the money is not charged, they shout quite loudly. I just want to ask you, What is fairness? What is a gap? When a game is made, its rules and regulations are already set, and when you enter this game, doesn't it mean that you have accepted the rules set by the game producer? It's a huge cost to keep the game running. Where do you think the computers you play on come from? And who made the game? There is no cost or sacrifice to make such an amazing thing? So, the game producer also needs to make money, and this heroic weapon he launched is just there. You can choose to buy it or not, no one will force you. And what you call fair play is only based on the fact that you have no money. If you are willing to charge money and get the same equipment as me, will this game be fair soon? As soon as the Krypton Gold Warrior spoke, everyone could not say a word of rebuttal. After a pause, the Krypton Gold Warrior continued, "You guys don't buy it, it's okay, you can still play as usual, as long as you don't compete with players with hero-level weapons, okay? And what happened to me spending money and getting a powerful outfit? Isn't that what I deserve? You only know the strength of this equipment, but you don't think about why it is so strong. I spent 88.88 million berry. Of course it has to be so strong. Moreover, the room where the player with hero-level weapons is located, all personnel will add 30% of the experience. Isn't this compensation?" People didn't speak anymore because they didn't know how to refute it at the moment. "I charge money, so I have a really good time. Of course, I have one last remark." The Krypton Gold Warrior coughed lightly a few times. "My stupid refugee player. Hate me. If you want revenge, come, I'll wait for you. Come to me when you have your money. Not charging money is just a garbage. Garbage. I'm not targeting anyone, huh? I mean everyone here is rubbish. The people I tortured and killed today are even more rubbish. Huh. Krypton Gold Warrior, eat, you? What Krypton? The Krypton Warrior's provocation once again angered everyone, and the abusive words once again filled the game, and the invective words were so vulgar that the system blocked some vulgar words as, "Isn't it money? Loud's a charge." Finally, some players couldn't help but taunt, and their brains were hot. Announcement: Player Bailey Slaughterpig purchased a hero-level weapon, Fire Killin'. Become the second player to possess a hero-level weapon. Let's switch the camera to this local tycoon and feel his demeanor inside the internet cafe. An emaciated man held his head high and enjoyed the sensation of being in the limelight. Obviously, he is the 100 miles of pig slaughter in the game. After using the fire unicorn to feel the cheerfulness of the abuse, Bailey Slaughterpig couldn't help but shout loudly and cheerfully, and he knew that it was so cool to charge money. Not long after, he recharged money to buy a dragon slayer. On the evening of the day, Wang Fei and Nami smiled at the dinner table. "Wife, your acting skills today are really amazing." "Ha ha ha," the group of people was stunned. Thank you, thanks to the good script you wrote, husband. The live broadcast also cooperates well. But that group of people, poof ha ha ha. Today, I sold 11 hero-level weapons, earning 888.88 million berry at once. I really didn't expect that there were so many rich people in the East China Sea. Nami said happily before the meal. Little Luling looked at the big brother and sister who were smiling like a madman, and couldn't help but blink his eyes suspiciously, and then brought a bowl of rice close to his mouth. The next day, the turmoil caused by the hero-level weapon had not passed, but Wang Fei immediately issued a shocking announcement to all players. "Dear players, since the launch of CS and Crossfire, gunplay games have been loved by everyone. After thinking about it, I decided to tell you something big. In 10 days, I will hold a Crossfire East C100 Cities League. At that time, all players are welcome to participate. Requirements: number of people per team, 5. Available for all weapons available in the marketplace except hero weapons. The competition mode is Team Mode. Adopt a best-of-3 elimination method in terms of rewards. First place reward: 1 commemorative edition hero-level weapon M4 or 1 Rose Elf worth 46.66 million Q coins per team each. The commemorative value is very large, with a special melee attack and about half the damage of the Fire Unicorn. Second prize: each team has a commemorative version M4A1 crystal worth 10 million Q coins, which has commemorative value. And reward the team with 2 million Q each. Third place reward: each team has a commemorative crystal hand axe worth 6 million Q, which has commemorative value. And reward the team with 1.5 million Q each. Fourth 10th place: each team has a commemorative skeleton grenade worth 1.5 million Q, which has commemorative value, and will reward 1 million Q coins per person. This contest is open to all Crossfire players. and all participants will receive a small reward of 10,000 Q. You can check the details of the event on the official website of the game announcement, Network Management, Wang Fei. The update is over. To be honest, almost every day these days is overnight. Today the body is really uncomfortable. I feel that the right kidney hurts when it moves. I don't know if it hurts to stay up late, but since it is promised 4, then it is better to finish writing, 4.5. Or go to bed early, wake up or 4 more. This time I want to get up early, go to sleep after the code word, and strive to change the time of the code word to the day, otherwise the body will collapse again sooner or later. P.S. This paragraph does not include the number of paid words, please rest assured. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Philo. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 082. The fox will slow down for the time being. First, make a guarantee to adjust the biological clock. Really can't stay up late. Sleep after yard 3. Start yard 4 after 12 noon. Please don't be impatient. The town of Rogue. Today, this town is not only one of the roads to enter the Great Waterway of the East China Sea. It has another identity, and in the eyes of people, it is also the base of the East China Sea Internet Café. After Wang Fei announced to all the players of the East China Sea that the East China Sea 100 Cities League would be held 10 days later, the lives of the people of the East China Sea gradually warmed up. In fact, it is said that the 100 City League will be held 10 days later, but when the news is announced, the audition has already begun. There are more than 120 towns in the East China Sea, and after each town is announced, all players can sign up for the audition. After signing up for the audition, players can compete in their town within 10 days. And the first place in each town can travel to Raga town 10 days later to participate in the final competition. So, as soon as the message was sent, all players were already busy, because the reward aspect was too tempting. In the internet cafe, many people are watching the rewards of the competition on the official website. Of course, the main thing they want to see is the hero-level weapon M4A1 Rose Elf. They were all curious about how strong this Rose Elf was, which was also a hero-level weapon. Wow, this gun is also very cool. Yes, it's really roses and elves. The butt of the special melee attack is terrifying, clean and sharp, really handsome. Be sure to come on, grab the first place. This weapon is ours. In a corner of the internet cafe, Smug was smoking a Chinese cigarette, and he looked at the heroic weapon on the screen, and his eyes were a little shining. Grandmas, I wanted to buy a hero-level weapon, but my salary was deducted. I didn't expect the competition to be sent. This first must be mine. A few of you, also give me good training. You must get the first place. Smug yelled at several of his men. In his own room, Wang Fei took something from his backpack in his hand. This thing is a helmet-like thing, which is exactly the virtual reality game helmet. Wang Fei took the helmet in his hand and watched. To be honest, I haven't really seen this thing since I got it, Wang Fei muttered. He opened the network management light curtain, found the virtual reality game option, and clicked on it looking for the introduction of the virtual reality game. Wang Fei carefully examined it. Virtual reality game, using computer simulation technology to generate a three-dimensional virtual world with a game helmet. Can provide users with a simulation of sight, hearing, and touch in the real world. Users can interact with things in this space, can move with their own will, and have a sense of integration and participation. The basic principle of virtual reality is to use computers and other special hardware equipment and information software to simulate the three-dimensional space environment, so that users can interact with a computer in this virtual world, let people enter the world through special user interfaces, and can move freely as if they were immersed, freely adventure and fight monsters in a virtual world. In addition to the above features, the Internet Cafe system has other more powerful advantages and functions. In addition to the realism of 96% of the real world, there are also the following 3 functions. 1. Exercise combat awareness. In reality, because the real knife and gun competition will inevitably hurt a body, so you can't let go of the mind and body when training the combat awareness. But in the virtual reality game, even if the character itself dies, it can be resurrected again without any damage. This function is suitable for the army to exercise combat awareness, which can significantly improve the overall combat effectiveness of the army. 2. After becoming stronger in the game, the system will feed back some energy to the real body, and the real body will be affected by the feedback energy and will follow the characters in the game to become stronger. After reading the first two, Wang Fei couldn't help but gasp. He didn't expect that the virtual reality game would have such a big ability. With the first two functions alone, he was able to do a lot of sensational things and nihilate the joy in his heart, and Wang Fei continued to look down when he saw the third function. Bang! The teacup in Wang Fei's hand fell to the ground and shattered, and Wang Fei himself opened his mouth slightly, maintaining the posture of holding a teacup and standing in place. 10 minutes. 10 full minutes. Wang Fei was relieved from the shock. This he. Ma. Wang Fei shuang. Lip tremor. Trembling, shocked, even foul language burst out. Ha 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 ha. After another long time, Wang Fei looked up to the sky and laughed. With this terrifying function against the sky, Lao Tzu is the god of this world. Somewhere in the East China Sea, King He is playing on a bicycle on the sea. He reached out and took the newspaper that delivered the letter to Seagull and read it, and after seeing Wang Fei's announcement of the East China Sea 100 Cities League, the corner of his childish mouth twitched. Wow! This bastard is finally back. But it really makes me easy to find. I still remember that half a month ago, King He immediately went to Rogue Town after receiving the order from the warring states, wanting to find Wang Fei, but when he went to Rogue Town, he was told by Smog that Wang Fei had set out to open internet cafes in various parts of the East China Sea, and it was estimated that he would not be able to return in a short time. King He was helpless, so he had to look around in the East China Sea for Wang Fei's traces, but Wang Fei shot a different place, and King He couldn't find anyone at all. Finally caught you. When I get to Rogue Town, I'll let you know what cold is. Quing Zhi cursed angrily, turned the bicycle, and began to march towards Rogue Town. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Filu Chapter 083. Today's internet cafe is still busy, and players are preparing for the 100 City League in 10 days. The game has been deep, entering the lives of netizens. This 100 Cities League is not only an honor for them, but also a grand festival. So in order to welcome this holy day, players are hurrying to train. Wang Fei is still sitting at the bar board, and he is tired of playing the game before the earth, so there is not much fun. However, during this period, due to the relationship of the 100 Cities League, Q's recharge amount used to more than double. This made Wang Fei a little happy. Boredly drinking tea, Wang Fei wondered when he would be able to complete the last stage of the task and go somewhere else. He is already a little tired of this place. He wants to go to other places to do tasks. The Great Passage, New World, Mary Jo and other places are still waiting for him to open an internet cafe. Reluctantly, it was noon when a naval soldier walked into the internet cafe and came directly towards Wang Fei. Hello, network administrator. The soldier greeted Wang Fei. Why are you so free to greet me today? Wang Fei was stunned. The Navy soldier in front of him, he knew it was Smog's subordinates. The one called Whip is beyond reach. The Navy soldier scratched his head. Are you free for network administrators? Our colonel is going to find you to be a guest at the base. A guest at the base? Wang Fei canine. What does he have to say if I go to his territory? I have distinguished guests to meet you. Distinguished guest? Wang Fei, who doubted? At this time, the sound of the system sounded. Ling. Congratulations to the host for triggering the main quest. Conditions for the first stage of the mission: follow the Navy soldiers to the naval base and meet the so-called distinguished guests. Mission rewards: after completing all stage missions, 5,000 computer suits, 6,000 virtual reality game helmets will be rewarded, and the online game Dungeons and Warriors will be open. Note: the game can use the virtual reality game mode for game experience. Inside the bar, Wang Fei heard that the system promulgated when changed. The rewards of this task are indeed extremely rich, but it is estimated that the difficulty is not. Although the tasks of the first stage are indeed easy, the subsequent tasks do not know how many more stages there will be. And the difficulty will not be high. Forget it. Anyway, this is a must. After thinking for a while, Wang Fei decided to go. After explaining Nami and Luo Ling, Wang Fei returned to the bar and said to the soldiers, "Let's go." Good. Then the network administrator, please. I followed the soldiers all the way to the naval base, and I didn't encounter any obstacles along the way. Firstly, because there were soldiers leading the way, and secondly, because most of the people here were Wang Fei's netizens. Network administrator, I can only send you here. After taking Wang Fei to a room, the soldier explained a few words to Wang Fei and left. Looking at the room in front of him, Wang Fei didn't know what to say, shook his head, and then pushed the room away. Inside the house, the decor is simple. sofas, and a few chairs and one to do work, and a few cups. But the people sitting in the room really surprised Wang Fei, because there were those sitting inside. And in addition to Smog, there was Admiral Kingsley, Wang Fei, who had just walked in the door, couldn't help but talk. It turns out to be childish. No wonder missions with such high difficulty and rewards are triggered. But if it comes, I want to see what they dare to do to me. Wang Fei picked up his spirits, walked directly to the house, ignored the gazes of the two people in the room, and sat down directly on the sofa. Wang Fei's move made Smog's eyelids jump, and it made Kingsley frown and show a look of displeasure. Don't look at Wang Fei just sat lightly on the sofa, but this was his intention first of all. In terms of status, even if Wang Fei's internet cafe is big and his business is good, he is only a civilian businessman on the surface, and to put it nicely, he is a local tyrant with some power. But who are the other two? Smog is a captain, and Kingsley is an admiral. With a relationship between Wang Fei and Smog, it doesn't matter how you usually play, but today Kingsley is present. This form is different. Wang Fei this fart. Sitting on the sofa, it seems simple, but sitting on the sofa is still childish. Doesn't who's sitting mean that he can be on an equal footing with Kingsley? You know, even Smog only dared to sit far away from Kingsley, but Wang Fei sat directly on the same sofa as Kingsley. This move frightened Smog, and he kept looking at Wang Fei, signaling Wang Fei to pay attention to etiquette. However, Wang Fei directly ignored Smog's kindness and picked up the teacup to drink tea. The air was dead silent. Wang Fei sat down, and the two people present could see the idea he wanted to express. If there is something to say, be polite to me. Others are afraid of you. I am not afraid. This is exactly what Wang Fei wanted to say before he came. Wang Fei was still wondering who wanted to see him, but when he saw Kingsley, Wang Fei knew what the purpose of calling him was this time. Since you have asked for me, then put away your high-minded attitude, be polite, speak well, and don't pretend to be forced on me. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Philo Chapter 084. Smog, who is this? Wang Fei asked deliberately after putting down the teacup. Smog's face turned pale, and of course he knew what Wang Fei meant by this. Knowing Wang Fei's character, Wang Fei asked this, firstly, to express his dissatisfaction with Smog's failure to tell him that he was childish, and secondly, to improve his own status advantage by pretending not to know Kingsley. These Smogs all understood, but he didn't understand what Wang Fei was crazy about today. He knew what kind of strength the general was, and he had to provoke him again and again. But Kingsley was present, and in order to alleviate the embarrassment, Smog had to introduce Wang Fei while making a look. This is my boss, Admiral Kingsley. Smog said this, obviously trying to give the two sides a step of détente, but Alice Kingsley does not intend to appreciate it, and with his position, he does not need to appreciate it. Smog wanted to continue saying something, but unfortunately, Kingsley directly interrupted him. Enough. Smog, what are you doing with your eyebrows squeezed? Is the eye in the sand? Wang Fei, right? I am a senior admiral and childish, and you must know what I came here for today. After all, you don't have a few things worthy of me personally. A kiddo doesn't say secret words. The above sent me to buy your computer, and then ask you to go to the naval headquarters to do technical guidance. You don't have to talk to me about conditions. I'm really not in the mood to continue talking with you. My patience has already run out in the time of riding a bicycle around the East China Sea to find you in the past half month. As soon as he mentioned this, Kingsley couldn't help but feel angry, thinking that he originally came with a heart to talk well, but he didn't expect to be put by this kid for half a month, causing him to ride a bicycle on the sea for half a month, and now he finally saw it, but he didn't expect that the other party still had such an attitude. How could this not make him angry? Wang Fei is silent. After a long time, he spoke. If you want to pull me into the Navy and work for the world government, this is impossible. In that case, there is nothing to talk about. I said coldly, since you don't agree. Then I can only freeze you into an ice sculpture and bring it back. Rest assured, won't freeze you. I also brought all these computers of yours back and confiscated them. As soon as the words fell, Kingsley's body suddenly erupted with an earth-shattering cold air. The temperature in the house plummeted, and frost had fatally appeared on the walls. At this moment of saber rattling, the sound of the system suddenly came to mind. Ling. Congratulations to the host for completing the first stage of the task. Now start the second phase of the mission. The second stage of the mission requirements, suppress Kingsley and Smo, asks to talk to the warring states, and tell the warring states that they cannot work for the Navy, but they can cooperate with the Navy. Wang Fei's face remained unchanged. Since the system is like this, There must be a reason. With a slight smile, Wang Fei still used his fist to solve the comparison with some things. In this way, as long as you can suppress me, I will unconditionally cooperate with everything you say, but on the contrary, I also hope that Mr. Kingsley will promise me one thing, which will be beneficial to both parties. Kingsley sneered, it's a big breath, but what you want to say, you can still suppress me and talk to me again. Wang Fei did not say any more, he expressed his ability with actions. Kingsley is also silent, his ability to pluck frozen fruit, pushed out with one palm, and at the same time, the rolling cold key rushed towards Wang Fei. The cold is coming. But Wang Fei didn't seem to care, and he silently closed his eyes. Water spirit. Breath of the sea. Wang Fei closed his eyes and silently chanted, and the next moment a roar of the waves resounded in the room, and at the same time, a deep abyss-like aura swept in all directions. This breath is exactly what the water spirit body possesses, the breath of the sea. As soon as the water spirit body opened, the next moment, the childish cold key dispersed in the room, turning into water droplets and dripping down, and it seemed that it was raining heavily in the room. Water spirit body, extremely high affinity with the water element. It can mobilize the active water element in the air, and the water element will not harm the person who has the water spirit body. Ice and cold key are also upgraded versions of the water element, so they also cannot cause damage to those who have water spirit bodies, and the water element that is close to Wang Fei would rather explode than harm Wang Fei. After the cold key was broken, the breath of the ancient sea spread to all directions with Wang Fei as the center. This breath is like Wang Fei's own aura buff. Open it if you want to, and close it if you want to. After the breath of the sea spreads, normal people will not feel any discomfort. But the two devil fruit abilities in the room will suffer. Those who have the ability of the devil fruit will be disgusted by the sea, and once they become the ability person, they will not be able to swim, and they will lose their strength in the water and have no ability to act. Then Wang Fei's water spirit body is the same. After the breath of the sea spread, in the room, Kingsley and Smog immediately lost their strength and fell to the ground. Wang Fei stretched out his hand, and the electric light condensed into an electro knife in his hand. Zhang. The electric knife pointed directly at Kingsley's eyebrows, and Wang Fei said condescendingly, "How about it, Mr. Kingsley? Now, can you listen to me properly? P.S. These are the foreshadowing for going to the Navy headquarters to open an internet cafe. And after the Rogue Town chapter is over, the network administrator will go to the Navy headquarters with Kingsley to open an internet cafe. Red Dog charging Q coins to buy fire unicorns or something is coming soon. 2333. The plot on the future is more exciting than first three more. The fox has to adjust the biological clock. Stay up late like this. Sooner or later it will be over. It's about 6:30 a.m. and I sleep until about 12:30 p.m. and get up at 4 yards. Walk the talk. Rest assured, to see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Philo Chapter 085. Mr. Kingsley? You have lost. The electric knife in Wang Fei's hand burst out of the electric arc of Zizi, and the air was filled with a dangerous aura. Kingsley and Smog collapsed on the ground, losing all their strength. A face to defeat the Admiral. Wang Fei silently, he does not have any burden, and does not feel that it is not worth offending an admiral in this way. After all, showing his strength itself is a kind of chip. In the world of pirates, it is only possible to make a fair deal if the strength of the two sides is similar. First show more strength than the other party, so that the other party will willingly sit with you and negotiate conditions, otherwise it will be like just now. The other party will force you to work for them with absolute strength. Fairness is only possible when both parties are equal, although there is a world government behind Kingsley, but Wang only wants Kingsley to have a good conversation with him calmly. Bang! The electric knife spread out, and Wang Fei withdrew the electric knife. How about Mr. Kingsley, can you sit with me and negotiate the terms now? Wang Fei smiled. Before that, lift the suppression of me. Kingsley said reluctantly. Wang Fei nodded and converged the breath of the sea. Then, Mr. Kingsley, please sit. Wang Fei made a gesture of invitation to Kingsley. Kingsley was silent and sat down on the sofa. Wang Fei's gesture of invitation, he understood the meaning. This is Wang Fei has already turned against the customer. Looking at Kingsley, Wang Fei was still smiling, but his heart was very helpless. Alice, it's really troublesome to talk with these officials. It's a waste of brains. Sometimes I still like to deal with pirates. At least the pirates are blunt and can say directly if they have any ideas. If this incident is a happy cooperation, I should think about asking the world government to give me a name, and I don't have to go around when I have an identity. After sitting on the sofa, King Zi's face was livid, and he didn't speak for a long time, and Smog's expression had changed when he looked at Wang Fei after the incident just now. He found that Wang Fei's hidden things were too deep. He thought that the other party was at most an internet cafe owner with higher strength than himself, but he didn't expect that his boss, Admiral Wang Fei, was not a good enemy in front of Wang Fei. He suddenly felt that he had not seen through Wang Fei's details at all, and since Wang Fei's attack just now, he felt that the distance between himself and Wang Fei had become farther and farther away, and after having such an idea, Smog's gaze at Wang Fei was already vaguely respectful. And he felt that he didn't seem to be qualified to be friends with Wang Fei. Inside the office, King Zi sat on the sofa for a long time, and then spoke. "What do you want to talk about? Look at it." Wang Fei was overjoyed, and when he heard King Zi's words, he knew that Zhu had compromised. "Here, let me express my wishes. I still say that I am not happy to work for the world government. I'm a businessman, and I'm particular about waiting for exchange. I can't just work for you because of your words, so if you want to cooperate, I can accept it, and as long as you can come up with what I want, I will also give you something beyond imagination." After speaking, Wang Fei stopped speaking, leaving time for King Zi to think about it. "I see what you mean, King Zi," I said lightly. "Then what conditions do you have, and what can you give us?" Wang Fei smiled. He was waiting for the sentence of childishness. After coughing lightly a few times, Wang Fei spoke. "This. With all due respect, Mr. King Zi may not be able to be the master." "So what do you mean?" "Let me talk to the person who sent you, Wang Fei." "Oh. Yes, but before I do that, I am sure that the conditions you give will be to our liking?" Wang Fei nodded. "Of course, it will definitely impress your heart." "Yes, you wait." After answering Wang Fei, King Zi took out a phone worm that could talk to the warring states. "Let's do it. Let's do it." The phone worm is dialing. "Hello? Childish, what's the matter? Also, how did the task go?" Sengoku's voice came out of the phone. "Marshal, the person you asked me to find, he wants to talk to you about cooperation." "Oh? Cooperate? Interesting. You give him the phone." Sengoku's voice was clearly tinged with interest. King Zi handed the phone worm to Wang Fei. "Take it. Our marshal agrees to talk to you." Wang Fei nodded and took the phone. "Hello, Marshal of the Warring States. My name is Wang Fei." "Oh, Wang Fei. Hello, young man. My old man has long wanted to get to know you, and today I can finally talk to you. I am really in a good mood." Wang Fei mouthed on this end of the phone. Ba pumped. Secretly said in his heart, "This old man." Before it was clear that he sent King Zi to use force to coerce me to serve the navy, but now it is estimated that he found that the situation on King Zi's side was not right, and immediately did not mention the matter of sending people to deal with me before, but enthusiastically pulled the family from the beginning, threw the black pot directly to the back of a young child. What an old traitor. But thinking so in his heart, Wang Fei said on his lips, "Hello, I have long admired the name of the Marshal of the Warring States, and I contacted the Marshal this time, mainly to talk to the Marshal about cooperation." "Cooperation? Then I don't know what conditions boss Wang Fei has to talk to me about?" The words of the Warring States can ask Wang Fei. He just said according to the task given by the system. As for what to say next, the system is no longer accountable. This chapter, wrote for more than 2 hours. I slept for about 4 hours today, and then now I am really tired. I don't know when the remaining 3 chapters will be written, but there will be no less of 4. This all-night habit must be changed. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Filu Chapter 086. Ding. Just when Wang Fei didn't know how to answer the Warring States, the voice of the system finally sounded. Congratulations to the host for completing the second stage of the main quest, suppressing King Zi and talking to Sengoku. Now start the third stage of the mission. The mission requirements: use the virtual reality game as a bargaining chip to negotiate conditions, and reach a partnership agreement with the Warring States. Agree to go to the naval headquarters, Malinfeder, to build an internet cafe after the end of the 100 Cities League. Note: after the host arrives in Malinfedo, the system will open the game, Dungeons and Warriors, for the host. After receiving the task given by the system, Wang Fei breathed a sigh of relief. He spoke. "Marshal of the Warring States, talk about conditions on this occasion. I don't think the game is suitable." The Warring States on the other end of the phone obviously understood what Wang Fei meant, and he spoke. "King Zi, you go out first, and I will have a good talk with Wang Fei." "Yes, King Zi," I answered, signaled to Smog, and the two left the office together. "Okay, Now we can talk, Sengoku said lightly. Wang Fei spoke. Well, I think let's open up and talk. It's a lot of effort. The Marshal of the Warring States sent Kingsley to find me this time, so I know what it is. When he said the words find me, Wang Fei deliberately bit the accent. I can provide you with some computers for you to study some of the military equipment. It can also help answer some technical operation knowledge. Oh. I didn't expect Brother Wang Fei to be so straightforward. I like it very much. You go on. Sengoku laughed. Wang Fei continued, I know what you think, but I can tell you that even if you take the computer, as long as I don't want to, or something goes wrong with me, then the computer you take back is just scrap metal, so I advise you to stop and not hit my attention. Sengoku was silent and did not speak. Wang Fei continued, moreover, if you are looking for me, just to call the attention of my computer, then I can say that I am really disappointed. Oh? Could it be that Brother Wang Fei still has any chips? You can keep putting it up. Sengoku played taste. HMPH, Wang Fei hummed lightly. Here, I have something that is of great benefit to your navy, and can help your navy as a whole significantly improve its combat power in a short period of time. What? Are you sure? The Warring States were silent for a long time before speaking, but his tone was still a little surprised and suspicious. If what you say is true, then the deal is done. Before that, please tell me how you helped us improve our combat power? Play the game, Wang Fei said lightly. Huh? Play games? Brother Wang Fei, are you serious? Of course. Next, Wang Fei introduced the principle and situation of virtual reality games to Warring States. Battles in virtual games can develop a stronger sense of combat in the military, and after the player becomes stronger in the game, the real body will be fed back and become stronger little by little. How about Marshal of the Warring States? You can consider it. My game is in the final stages of development. If you agree to cooperate, I can make the Navy the first trial. Sengoku didn't speak for a long time. Maybe this kind of thing is still too sci-fi for him, and he needs some time to digest the news. However, Wang Fei did not have so much time to wait for the Warring States to consider, and he directly gave the Warring States a stimulus. Marshal of the Warring States, if you find it difficult, then I will also find other partners, such as revolutionary. As soon as these words came out, the Warring States finally no longer hesitated, and he hurriedly said, yes, I promise you your cooperation. But the first trialists you said, what do you mean? Quite simply, I am a businessman and cannot serve only one force for the Navy. Well, virtual reality games will be available to the world in the future, but I can assure you that the world government side will gain more than other forces. The advantage will also be greater than other forces. After a minute of silence, Sengoku finally made up his mind, and he replied, good. I promise you. But can you tell me, what are your conditions? Or what do you want from our world government? Wang Fei smiled. It's very simple. I said that I am a businessman, and what I want is power and money. Also, I want you to promise to let me build an internet cafe in Malenfido. And when I build internet cafes around the world, the local world government forces must cooperate. It's that simple. Sengoku was stunned. Yes, it's that simple. Good. Then we're a partnership from now on, and as long as your game really does what you say it does, then everything you want, we can give it to you. Happy cooperation, Wang Fei said with a smile. Happy cooperation? After I finish dealing with the affairs of Rogue Town, I will immediately leave for Malenfido with Kingsley. Okay, you return the phone worm to Kingsley. I'll explain a few words to him. After calling Kingsley into the house, Wang Fei returned the phone worm to Kingsley, and as for what Warring States and Kingsley talked about, Wang Fei didn't want to hear it. He walked straight out the door to go back to the internet cafe, but as soon as Wang Fei walked out the door, the voice of the system remembered again. Ling. Congratulations to the host for triggering the side quest. Mission requirements: fool Kingsley to participate in this 100 Cities League together and add another reputation to the internet cafe. Mission rewards: 800 computer suits, 800 virtual reality helmets. Wang Fei, who had just stepped out of the door with his front foot, stopped again, then laughed treacherously and returned to the house. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Philo Chapter 088. SB. If you are sick, go to the hospital quickly. When these words came out, the mouse in Kingsley's hand immediately shattered into ice slag. Think about when he was so insulted as a senior admiral. Moreover, looking at this look, the other party is still a salted fish. The temperature in the private room dropped rapidly, which frightened Wang Fei and Smog and hurried up to dissuade them. "General, you have to look carefully this time. The one in black is your enemy," Smog reminded. "Got it, you shut up for me." In the game, the cold refrigerator, who had finished a bullet, charged again with a pistol. After rushing to corner, suddenly a person jumped out from behind the box, and Kingsley frowned, and quickly shot. However, the other party ignored Qing's attack and took the M4A1 directly in front of the cold refrigerator. Suddenly, the sound of bullets rushing out of the chamber made the refrigerator fall to the ground. In the next moment, announcement: player cold refrigerator is killed by the player. "I tie your daddy with a rifle." Kingsley did not speak, and patiently waited for the resurrection time. Going out again, Leng Ruo refrigerator this time has enough ammunition. And when he goes out, he will charge towards the enemy's resurrection point. Bang! Huge gunshots. Cold as a refrigerator fell to the ground again. Announcement: player cold refrigerator is killed by the player. Dotted grass suit with a sniper rifle. "Oh general, you have to pay attention. There are snipers on the opposite side who are squatting in the corner waiting for those players who are in a hurry to go out. As long as they don't pay attention when they go out, they will be killed. At this time I suggest you go the other way." Kingsley did not reply, and after being resurrected again, he chose to follow Smog's advice and go the other way. The charge went very smoothly, with cold refrigerator rushing all the way to the enemy's resurrection point and completing revenge at the cost of a bullet that ran out of one magazine, but was quickly killed by the gushing enemy. He was killed again, but this time Kingsley was not unhappy. After all, he got the head. The childishness who got the head once was full of confidence this time. He operated a role, charging again. It's a pity that reality gave him a big ear scraper, and this time he was already killed after only half of the road. Wang Fei smiled and walked out of the private room. In the following time, only Smog was alone in the private room to accompany Kingsley. I don't know if it's too childish operation. In the next hour, Wang Fei can often hear in the box, "Smog really can't stand it, so from time to time there is a hatred iron can't be grooved. Jump. Jump. Squat. Oh my goodness, run to the middle of the road and throw flashbangs to blind yourself. What kind of trouble are you trying to make? Smoke bombs. Is Fang's door throwing to provide protection to the other party? Watch out for farts. Share. Fart. Shares behind. Fart. Shares behind. My heart hurts." Smog kept complaining loudly. Originally childish, just didn't care, but after such a series of complaints, Kingsley finally couldn't help it. He glanced at Smog coldly. "Can I shut your mouth? If you can't close it, I can use ice to help you freeze." As soon as these words came out, Smog immediately shut up, and he realized that the person he had been complaining about before was childish. This general's operation is so bad that I complained about OCD for a while. I don't know if there will be retaliation. Smog cried secretly in his heart. After more than half a day has passed, Kingsley's technical level has improved rapidly under the circumstances of Smog, who is still a game master, and his own super reflexes, judgment, and combat awareness. Although Kingsley is not obsessed when he looks at the computer, he also has a lot of good impressions of this game. "How is it, Mr. Kingsley? Are you having fun?" Wang Fei pushed the door into the private room and asked with a smile. "Not bad." Kingsley nodded. "I kind of understand why so many people like to play games. This virtual world is different from reality. Everyone can play any different role. In the virtual world they can show their true selves, just like usually. No one dares to scold me when people know that I am an admiral, but today, my character in the game is no longer admiral, so I am scolded. This feeling is really a long time gone." Kingsley smiled rarely. Wang Fei knew that the opportunity had come at this time, and he hurriedly interjected, "So is Mr. Kingsley interested in participating in this 100 Cities League?" Kingsley smiled. "Just with this idea, your game is quite interesting, but I have a request. My true identity is not allowed to be announced during the game. I'll make it public when I win the first place. I want everyone to fear me not only in the real world, but also in the game world." That's a good idea. Time passed day by day, and soon, 9 days passed. Team Smog transferred the position of a member to Kingsley, and Kingsley is worthy of being a naval admiral, and his consciousness and learning ability are equally powerful in the game, and after 9 days of continuous practice, he finally created a superb technique. Today, Roguetown ushered in a special big day. Crossfire East Sea 100 Cities League will start today. On the street, flags are flying, and the business of various shops is particularly hot. The crowd crowded the streets, almost overwhelmed. The number of competitors and onlookers who came to the competition reached almost 50,000. I originally wanted to give up this fourth to rest, because I was really tired and almost collapsed, but I thought that since I had said that I had promised, I gritted my teeth and persevered. Now it's really not going to work. It's time to go to rest, and my head is dizzy. By the way, the game name of the original character of the pirate in the book is not enough, and now I ask readers for the game name of the pirate native, and leave a message in the book review area. I want the character name. Your nickname will appear in the book. P.S. This paragraph does not include the number of paid words, please rest assured. Well, I feel like I'm running out of half my life, and I don't take a bath. Go to bed. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Philo. Period. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Period. Period. Chapter 090. Today's Internet Cafe. All doors and windows are open, and the whole Internet Cafe is transparent. Today's organizers, Wang Fei and Nami and his wife, were simply busy breaking their foreheads, and even Xiao Luling was inevitably running around in the Internet Cafe with a broom and garbage shovel, constantly cleaning up the garbage. Fortunately, Wang Fei invited a few cleaning ants, otherwise Xiao Luling's meals in the past few days would have been all for nothing. This makes Wang Fei sometimes have to sigh secretly. Lolly is really undesirable sometimes, and the cute and powerful Lolly is not something that anyone can afford. After all, the salary of several cleaning ants for a month does not add up to more than little Luling's 3-day meal money. I finally realized the beauty of raising so many powerful people in the family of Rishido and eating a lot of food. How hard it is for the girl, Wang Fei secretly cried in his heart. Okay, without further ado, let's move back to the 100 Cities League. At the door of the Internet Cafe, Wang Fei and Nami stood side by side, and Xiao Luling had nothing to do after being snatched away by Ant Clean, so he rode on Wang Fei's shoulder, grabbing Wang Fei's hair with one hand and chicken legs with the other hand, and laughing. Wang Fei first made an opening remark. Hello audiences and players, I am the organizer of this competition, Wang Fei, so thank you very much for coming. Then I will briefly talk about the rules of this competition. There are 140 teams competing this time, so the first round is a knockout round. In the first round, the teams of the match are randomly arranged by the system. As long as which of the two teams can win 2 games, they will advance to the next round. In the first round, 140 teams will be divided into 70 battlefields, and as long as they defeat their opponents, they will advance to the top 70. Next, I announce the start of the competition. After the words fell, the players in front of the 700 computers in the Internet Cafe entered the game at the same time, and the battle began immediately, and the Internet Cafe also began to shout at this moment. The voices of various conductors spread. On the Smog side, due to their childishness, their team was specially arranged by Wang Fei to play in the large private room because Kingsley occupies a position. This time the whip has been replaced by the long whip, and Kingsley did not support this time. He did not take the captain position because of the position, but gave the position to Smog. He felt that Smog was more experienced in leading troops. He was the top combat force of the Navy, only needed to fight, did not need to lead troops. When the game began, Kingsley still couldn't help but frown. I said, Smog, can't you change the names of these subordinates? Smog, rename card 880,000 Barry. Reluctant, Kingsley. The battle soon began, and the map of this team battle was lucky enough to choose child's favorite transport. Just go out and do it cleanly, which is why Kingsley loves this map. Ready to go. Team Smog went their separate ways as soon as they went out. Hawaii Shooting Day and Good Friendship occupy the high platforms on both sides after the battle begins, holding sniper rifles and standardizing the enemy's house. Kingsley and Guanbao's Friendship are quickly rushing to the enemy's resurrection point with a rifle. Smog changed his preferences this time, taking the Gatling and slowly following behind the young and Guanbao's Hiji. His character is to suppress the newly resurrected enemy with firepower, so that the other party can't get out. In this competition, the side will win by killing 20 enemies first, so fire suppression is necessary for the machine. When everyone is ready, the first round of the two sides meets in the middle of the map. Due to time constraints, Kingsley and Guanbao Jiji are armed with rifles, so they are relatively mobile after the two sides engaged. King's he shot the enemy with his nimble positioning announcement. Player old after a long time is killed by the player, cold as a refrigerator with a rifle. King's he successfully took off a person's head in the opening, and Guanbao's Hijao didn't know if the name was too eye-catching, and he was killed first when he came up. The two people on each side just faced each other, and just when King's he was about to kill the other person first, the good man on the high place raised his sniper rifle first. Bang! Announcement. Player DSS, GFC is killed by player. Good with people with a sniper rifle. It's a pity that the character's name is obviously a player who is typed out of the face-rolling keyboard. And he has just been sent back to the resurrection point before he gets ahead, and King's also came back to his senses, but he had already been rushed up by the other three enemies to send him back to the resurrection point. Announcement. Player cold refrigerator is killed by player. Saint Cat Master with a submachine gun. Tap da. King's he was killed. Smug was very embarrassed. After he caught up, he immediately opened fire. The Gatling in his hand kept turning, and countless bullets strafed forward. Announcement. Player Saint Cat Lord is killed by player. Smoke Beauty is killed with Gatling. Announcement. Player Sudam is killed by player. Smoke Beauty is killed with Gatling. Announcement. Player I am 00000. After 20 minutes have passed, at the end of the game, the overall strength of Team Smog was actually very strong. Moreover, Raga Town players actually spend more time in contact with computers than players in other towns, and the proficiency is naturally much better than that of players in other towns. So after 2 games, Team Smog undoubtedly won all of them and advanced smoothly. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Philo Chapter 091. The time has gradually reached the afternoon, and since the first day of the competition took a long time to prepare, the time for the first promotion match has reached the afternoon. Wang Fei announced after the final 70 decision that the rest of the competition would continue tomorrow, and the rest of the day was reserved for players from all over the world to take a break. As for the players who were eliminated today, Wang Fei also rewarded a small golden badge engraved with 140 strong gold in the game for them to keep, and these players also gladly accepted this small memorial, but they did not know that when many years passed, as the internet cafe became more and more popular, this badge also made them boast for a lifetime. In the course of today's game, Wang Fei also saw the two people Bucky and Yarlita, and he was slightly surprised at that time. These two most dramatic people in the original book turned out to be internet addicts and came here to participate in the competition. What a soapy mess because they were familiar faces. Wang Fei also paid special attention to them. And today the teams to which the two of them belonged had all advanced to the next round. I didn't expect to see familiar faces here. The future game is really more and more fun. Do I want to do a dark box operation or something, so that the 3 teams can collide together at the same time? Alice, this is a good idea. I think I will change the rules. Wang Fei said with a smile. Late day, the street is still brightly lit and lively, and today can be said to be the liveliest day in Rogue Town, and many businesses are planning to stay open all night to take advantage of this good day to make more money. I have to say here that some of the things that happened in the previous 2 days originally, Wang Fei planned to finish the 100 Cities League in 1 day, but when this decision was issued, many local shop owners in Rogue Town approached Wang Fei one after another to ask for an extension of the game time. Originally, Wang Fei was still wondering, but after asking, Wang Fei knew that the opening of the 100 Cities League would definitely bring huge passenger flow to Rogue Town, and these guests would definitely bring great wealth. So the traders asked Wang Fei to do it for an extra day so that they could make a little more in this regard. Wang Fei just said, "Concern me, do it for 1 more day." Do you know how much Laozi can make a day? Internet cafes do not pick up customers for 1 day, but Laozi loses hundreds of millions. As a result, the traders had no choice but to pay for it spontaneously, which was called sponsorship. He invested more than 800 million berry in Wang Fei. Finally, Smug also found Wang Fei, network administrator. You see, you have been running a store for so long. The most profitable store here is you. Have I collected your taxes all these times? Just promise them. They earn more, and I can collect more taxes. In the end, Wang Fei reluctantly agreed to them. The next day came quickly. Today is the best of the Tokai 100 Cities League, and all teams will decide the final winner today in front of the internet cafe. Wang Fei announced loudly, "Hello everyone, after the competition of the day, the top 70 has finally been released, so now the second round of the competition is about to begin." In the second round of the game, this time I changed the rules slightly. It was more simple and rude. First of all, this round of matches is a tiebreaker. That is, There are no 2 wins in 3 games. If you lose once, the game is lost. Please show your full level. This time the game will be eliminated if you lose once. In this promotion match, the system automatically assigns opponents, and each team that wins will play the next match with another team in the second assignment. All teams, as long as they beat 2 teams in this round of promotion, they can advance to the round of 22. On the contrary, if you lose the battle once, you will be eliminated directly. Then, the rules are over and the game begins. Off-site, the audience talked a lot. I'll go. This rule is simply too ruthless. Yes, this rule, each promoted team must win twice, which means that for every promoted team, 2 teams will be eliminated. This rule is so ruthless. How many people have been directly brushed? Inside the internet cafe, at this moment, the players who heard the new rules looked solemn, and this game can no longer be careless. Of course, there are also many players who like such rules, such as Childish, Smog, Bucky, Yarlita and others. This is good, or the trouble of grinding chirping will die was what they thought in their hearts with the new rules. Players are no longer careless, and after changing into a new outfit, they take out the spirit of 12 points to fight. In the internet cafe, the sound of commands and the sound of tapping on the keyboard and mouse are constantly echoing. 2 hours passed. During these 2 hours, some people left the scene sadly, and some people cheered victoriously. When this match was over, Team Smog, Team Bucky, Team Arita, all 3 teams had successfully advanced, and the development was heading in a direction that Wang did not expect. The top 70, after 2 hours of competition, was mostly brushed off, and now the remaining teams have successfully reached the round of 22. The losing team, Wang Fei, also issued them a golden badge of the top 70 in the game, which can be regarded as a comfort. Congratulations on making it to the round of 22. Then move on to the round of 11. Wang Fei stood up and said, "The match in the round of 11 is still a decisive victory. The winner advances to the top 11, and the loser is eliminated. In game, all players are ready again. Arita controls her character to look for enemies on the map, and her character is wielding a mace from a wassail in her hand throughout the map. Bucky sweeps across the map with a gatling in hand, and Kingsley and Smog and others beat the enemy to no fight back with super high cooperation. Each team was fighting for the final 11, and when more than half an hour passed, the top 11 was finally born, and all 3 teams were within the top 11. Alright. Thank you all for making it to the top 11. Then the final top 10 ranking, we will decide with a new gameplay." Wang Fei waved his hand. This gameplay is Big Battlefield Mode. Today, I will make 3 changes, and send more than 200 words of free body content to everyone. Mama. I haven't actually played much Crossfire, so I don't have much of an idea. Some Kevin. The fox sorted out his thoughts and woke up for more. The update should be during the day. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Philo Chapter 092. This gameplay is the Great Battlefield Mode. Wang Fei shouted and announced the rules of this competition. Everyone was in an uproar, but then more people looked dazed. Big Battlefield Mode? Network management, what is this method? Yes, I haven't heard of it. Wang Fei raised his hand to signal everyone to be quiet. Since the competition has reached the top 11, in order to better distinguish the ranking, I decided to turn on the Big Battlefield Mode. So what is the Great Battlefield Mode? This mode is a mode that has not yet been opened in Crossfire. Like its name, this mode is a huge battlefield, and inside this battlefield, you can play any game. In addition, this large battlefield can accommodate up to 200 players to fight in the battlefield. In the ranking tournament of the top 11, there are 5 players from each of the 11 teams, adding up to 55 players, who will enter the big battlefield to fight together. And what is going on? It's a personal battle. In the big battlefield, you don't distinguish between teammates and enemies. In short, you can kill when you see it. Then the final ranking will be determined by the total number of enemies killed by the 5 members of the squad in 30 minutes. The more kills, the higher the ranking. After the match, the big battlefield will be open to all players. Then, the game begins. Wang Fei's shout will be the heat of the audience. Love is completely ignited. Faced with this new and exciting gameplay, all players and viewers are excited. Inside the game, this is a huge shopping mall, and all the players have already entered. As the countdown came to an end, all the contestants changed into their required equipment with a bang. Captain Bucky, haha, I didn't expect us to meet at the beginning. Go, let's kill them by surprise. You open the way first, I'll follow. Bucky nodded calmly. Good, Bakina answered with his men with lions. After that, He grabbed the rifle and walked forward step by step. Poof. Boom. At this moment, the sound of a knife entering the flesh came from inside the earphone. Announcement. Player Inuyashiryu is killed with a dagger by 4 points of meat. Captain Bucky. You? The lion men were angry. Bucky laughed a few times. How? It is said that the big battlefield does not distinguish between friend and foe. This time give you a long memory. I will accept your head. And, Bucky stopped again. Honestly, I saw your name and I wanted to hit you. Blame me, my dog-like lion, who aspires to be a dragon. So is it wrong for me to name Inuyashiryu? That's right, but I still want to hit you. On the other hand, Arita is different from others. Everyone else is holding a gun. She is different. She has a mace in her hand. In reality, she likes to use maces as weapons, and after arriving in the game, she turned through more than a dozen pages in the mall and finally found a melee weapon. Mace. This mace is very unique, because of its heavy weight. Its attack speed is relatively slow, but it is also very powerful. And this mace doesn't have any left and right buttons or thumbs. It only has a single button, and when you press it, it will perform a striking and die if you touch it, but a slow shot is also a fatal injury. However, Arita never gave up this weapon, and she began to use this weapon to participate in various modes of games, and finally, Wang Yuan paid off, and after sending more than 12,000 heads in a month, she successfully practiced a technique of ultra-high speed and extreme speed and killed her opponent with a mace. In the game, Arita is jumping forward with a mace, and her eyes are looking around to see if there are any enemies approaching. Huh? Who is the person in front? Yarida, who crept closer. Hawaii shooting day. This man is Smog's man, right? Good. I went up and slaughtered him. After that, Yarlita manipulated the character and rushed towards Smog. As the distance between the two sides got closer and closer, Descendant Shooting Sun also heard footsteps behind him. He quickly turned around, and the sniper rifle in his hand was aimed at the target in an instant. Bang! The sniper rifle fired a round of ammunition, and a puff of smoke rose from the barrel. Off-screen, after hearing the gunshot, Yarlita slid the mouse in her hand, and the picture immediately changed. The next moment of what happened made the Descendants Shooting the Sun confused. I saw that the enemy, who was still in the distance, suddenly turned sideways at the moment of the gunshot, and then immediately jumped back. And then continued to rush towards the Hawaii Shooting Sun without incident. The Hawaii Shooting Day was stunned. Is this specifically dodging? Impossible, right? Hawaii Shooting Day couldn't believe it. He raised the gun again and fired another shot at the target. This time, he aimed at the head. Bang! After the gunshot, Hawaii Shooting Day did not turn off the scope. He wanted to see if this enemy could really dodge the bullet. In the scope, Descendant Shooting Sun can see clearly this time. That enemy, as if he had seen Hawaii Shooting Sun's intention to hide her in the head, suddenly crouched at the next moment of the gunshot. And then bullets whizzed past her head, and that enemy also took advantage of the time before the Hawaii Shooting Day could react. Buzz! The mace turned into a black shadow and slammed it on the head of Hawaii Shooting Sun. Tell you why I updated so late today. Tonight's Christmas Eve girlfriend said that she wanted me to accompany her, and I said that I had no time for code words. Then she got angry, then quarreled, finally broke up. Micro. The letter, QQ, and everything was deleted, and then coaxed for a long time, accompanied her shopping, paid for her shoes or something, and ate barbecue. Hundreds of oceans are gone. But coaxed back, covered face in tears, rushed, just came back to give everyone a code word. There are 3 more, there will be no less. P.S. This paragraph is not included in the text of the charge, please rest assured, and also, don't laugh, Philu reminds you, 3 things to read, collect, chapter 093. With a flash of black shadow, Hawaii Shooting Sun fell to the ground. Announcement, player Hawaii Shooting Day is killed by player. Electric Mace is killed with a mace. Eileen. What a weird reaction. This year, can you dodge bullets in the game? In front of the screen, Hawaii Shooting Day slapped his hands on the computer desk and roared angrily. Smog and Kingsley on the side also looked over. What's going on? Smog asked. Boss, this is called an electric mace. It's so weird. Have you ever seen anyone in the game who can dodge the attack of a sniper rifle out of thin air? But just now the man did it, and flashed twice. Both Smog and Kingsley frowned. The first time can be said to be a coincidence, and the second time can be said to be a real skill. Is it really that strong? I'll meet him, Kingsley said lightly. I'll go too. Smog followed suit. Outside the venue, the audience was in an uproar. Wang Fei also amplified and slowed down the scene where Arita dodged the bullet just now for the audience to see. Oh my god. I thought that this happened to dodge the bullet, but now it seems that this is not a coincidence at all. Yes, this is simply dodged with real strength. Terrible. What a level of reaction. The audience was talking about it. Even Wang Fei didn't expect that someone would play like this after crossing the line of fire and coming to the pirate world. This game has no player with such a terrifying sense of operation when it is on Earth. Melee weapons fight. This is simply a terrifying operational consciousness. Wang Fei couldn't help but admire. It seems that there are too many people in the pirate world, and playing games cannot be viewed from the eyes of normal people. I really look forward to how many people will change after Dungeons and Warriors comes out. Wang Fei smiled. In addition, in the game, Arita drops another stick and kills an enemy. She turned her head and looked around and found that the person named Ling Ruo Refrigerator was standing not far behind her, and it looked like she had been waiting for a long time. Electric Mace shouting, haha. Cold as a refrigerator? Good funny name. Ling Ruo Refrigerator shouted, let me try your skills. You can use a gun. You can also use a melee weapon. In short, whichever one you are more powerful. The Electric Mace shouted, no need to change, I use the mace better than with a gun. After speaking, Yarlita rushed directly towards the young character. The Hawkeye character stood in place without moving, and he silently raised the M4A1 with a silencer in his hand. Suddenly, Ling Ruo pulled the trigger and fired a 3-shot point shot. 3 bullets immediately went towards the body of the Electric Mace. HMPH. Don't underestimate me. Yarlita in front of the screen snorted coldly, and at the same time that the mouse flicked over, the characters in the game also followed a sideways position, easily dodging the childish 3-shot point and shoot in a row. However, the childish attack was obviously more than that, and when Arita had just dodged the attack, another series of 3 consecutive point shots whistled. This time it was coming directly at Arita's feet. Oh. Sure enough, he came prepared, and wanted to attack me again while I had just dodged. Did he really think I would be careless? Yarlita in front of the screen smiled. She hit the space bar the moment the bullet came. Do you really think that with a silencer, I won't be able to sense the timing of your shot? Light travels faster than sound, and the old lady judges by the sparks that pop out of your muzzle. The moment the Electric Mace jumped up, the bullet also happened to hide her feet, and several craters were made on the floor. However, just when Arita thought she had successfully evaded the attack of the place, the mutation regenerated. I saw that Ling Ruo Refrigerator was another 3-shot point shot, but this time it was aimed at the head of the Electric Mace. 3 bullets whistled and hit the head of the Electric Mace. Announcement: Player Electric Mace is killed by player Cold Refrigerator with a rifle headshot. Beautiful. These 3 attacks are simply perfect. The technology of Cold Refrigerator is simply at its peak. Outside the field, Wang Fei applauded. Network Administrator, it looks like it's just luck. The audience commented. Wang Fei waved his hand. Is it luck? Let's take a look at the slow replay. Saying that, Wang Fei played back the playback at a speed of 5 times. You see, the first 3 consecutive shots of Cold as a Refrigerator are obviously tempting. And the second triple and third are the key. You guys watch. During the second triple shot, the Ling Ruo Refrigerator obviously deliberately hit the feet of the Electric Mace. So what is his purpose in doing this? That's right. He is forcing the Electric Mace to jump in place and dodge. And the third triple shot, the time interval from the second triple shot is almost instantaneous. And the target of the third point shot is directed to the head to the point. This shows that the Cold Refrigerator should have calculated that the Electric Mace will jump up to dodge, and calculated the position of the head when jumping, and directly killed with 1 blow. As for why the Electric Mace didn't dodge the third shot, here, it is necessary to say why the Cold Refrigerator forced the Electric Mace to jump, because the game character is in the process of jumping. Note that during the jump, you can't make a second dodge. In other words, the Electric Mace simply cannot dodge the third attack of the Cold Refrigerator. Philu reminds you, 3 things to read, collect, Chapter 094. In other words, the Electric Mace simply cannot dodge the attack of the Cold Refrigerator. As soon as Wang Fei's words came out, the audience fell silent. After the silence, there was a huge cheer. They simply can't imagine that playing a game can have such a sense of operation, and use such careful calculation. Various whistles at the scene continued one after another, and the people on the scene finally felt the true level of this 100 City League in this final ranking match. It turns out that this is a contest between real masters. It really deserves to be the highest level of Crossfire. Such a powerful player. It is simply not something we can match. That's what players think now. After 2 wonderful confrontations, the audience was hot. The love has finally been ignited. And these 11 ranking matches only have the last 10 minutes left. In-game, Team Baki, which originally made Wang Fei look forward to it, did not perform very well at this time. This comes down to the relationship with Bucky killing his own people in the opening scene. After Beijing forcibly taught his subordinates to be a man, he was disgusted by his subordinates, and then their entire team simply fought separately, and 2 crew members would even exchange fire with Baki after seeing Baki. And it was also called the captain of the regiment in this battle, not only to be careful of the enemy, but also to be careful of his teammates. As a result, Bucky battles became the most comedic team in the game, and in the end, they didn't even go to kill the enemy anymore, but 4 people crouched down to kill Bucky. This really made all the audience laugh out of their teeth. After that, as long as there are no wonderful pictures to see, the audience will take the initiative to watch the internal tearing of the Bucky team, and watch while knocking melon seeds, which is also happy. The other side, Arita was silent in front of the computer for a long time. It's terrible. Good powerful thinking. He could judge my movements in an instant and induce me to kill me step by step. This person called Lang Ruo Refrigerator is an absolute master. I am not his opponent. The player's electric mace shouts, "Cold as a refrigerator, you are very strong. Admire." I am not your opponent, the player shouted coldly, except, thank. Resurrected again. This time Arita was silent for a while, then replaced the mace with a baseball bat. Compared with maces, baseballs are not as powerful as maces, but they are much faster than maces in terms of speed of action and attack speed, and the bat only needs to pay attention to attack the key parts. In fact, you can still do it with 1 hit. After changing into a speed suit, Arita is ready to go again. This time, she met 2 people in front of her who didn't know which team. This time did not encounter a perverted opponent like Kingsley. Yarlita first rushed to the nearest person's side, killed 1 person with a stick, and then Yarlita jumped behind the opponent with another 360-degree rapid rotation, and then knocked down with a stick. 2 opponents fell to the ground. Announcement: Player Green Robe Guest is killed by Player Electric Mace with a baseball bat. Announcement: Player Ink-Dyed Yellow Gambling Drugs is killed by Player Electric Mace with a baseball bat. Smog's side, Smog, armed with an AK-47, takes advantage of large shelves and clashes with opponents non-stop, using a shot for a shelf obscenity. After the trivial tactics, he successfully killed the 2 enemies. Announcement: Player GG is killed by Player Smoke Beauty with a rifle. Announcement: Player Popeye is killed by Player Smoke Beauty with a rifle. In front of the screen, Smog breathed a sigh of relief. He maneuvered the character out of the shelf. However, when he walked out, he happened to run into the electric mace. The player smokes the beautiful man, shouting, "Oops. Finally found you, and I've always wanted to fight you. Come on, I'll try your technique too." The player's electric mace shouted, "Yes, come on." Outside the field, after seeing Smog and Arita meet, Wang Fei knew that there must be a good show to watch, so he quickly gave the 2 close-ups, and in the field, when the answer was finished, the electric mace had already rushed to the Smoke Beauty first. Melee attack. All you want is to get a head start. In front of the screen, Smog bit the Chinese cigarette, and he looked at the electric mace coming towards him and shot unhurriedly. Bang! There is no pattern to Smog's complete attack. He did not want to shoot like a child, but directly pulled the trigger and swept. In short, first hit a shuttle. In the face of this chaotic and dense shooting, Yarlita's dodge consciousness will inevitably be hit even at a high level, but fortunately, the AK-47 itself has a large recoil and the accuracy rate is not high. Coupled with the relationship of strafing, the hit rate is lower while rushing to Smog. Arita was hit twice, and although her HP was low, she was not dead, and Smog had just finished shooting bullets at this time, and was in the time of changing the magazine. Arita in front of the screen has already shown a triumphant smile. She knows that as long as the other party attacks while changing the magazine, then the other party will definitely die. But at this moment, Yarlita saw a change in the opponent's hand, and the AK-47 transformed into a long sword that curved like a snake. Horse, Malay sword. Filu reminds you, 3 things to read. Collect, Chapter 095. In the game, Arita is fighting Smog. Just when she was about to take advantage of Smog's change of magazine, she found a change in Smog's hand, and the AK-47 was replaced by a long sword that curved like a snake. This sword, which Yarlita is all too familiar with, is the famous one in the line of fire, Malay sword. Although Arita saw that Smog had switched weapons, her confidence was also strong. At this time, You still want to play melee combat? Huh, it's already late. If I go down with a stick, you will already be dead. Arita sneered in front of the screen. She clicked the mouse, and then the character in the game received the command, and the mace in her hand went directly to the head of the smoke beautiful man. Buzz, the dark shadow of the baseball bat has struck, saying that it was too late. Smog jumped back sharply in the direction of Arita's attack, and while retreating, the Malay sword in his hand swept away. This casual sweep took away the last amount of Arita's blood. Arita's character fell to the ground. Announcement: player electric mace is killed by player smoke beauty with a Malay sword. The player smoke beautiful man shouted. Ho had ho louds also beat her. The player cold as a refrigerator shouted. The player's electric mace shouts. Bah. Disgusting Malay player smoke beauty shouts. The player smoke beauty shouted. What's wrong? Did louds offend you or what? The refrigerator kills you, you say admire. Why do I kill you, you scold. The player's electric mace shouts. Malay dog, me. The audience outside the stadium was confused when they saw this confrontation. This was originally a wonderful battle. How did it suddenly become a confrontation? The professional commentator Wang Fei appeared at this time to comment. He first showed everyone a replay of the battle between Smog and Arita, and then began to comment. First of all, let's start with the two of them just starting to fight. What about the smoke beautiful man? He does not have the powerful thinking ability of cold refrigerator, so he uses a weakening plan. At the beginning of the battle, his sweep looked, but in fact, he had a purpose. He knew that the electric mace dodge technique was very strong, so he used the sweeping method to make the electric rod unavoidable. After a sweep, the HP of the electric rod must have dropped to a low point, and at this time, just a casual attack can take her life. The next thing is wonderful. When the electric mace attacks at close range, Smog happens to be changing the magazine, and I guess this change magazine is probably just a ploy by him to lure the electric rod to attack him. The real means is the Malay sword replaced in the back. When the baseball bat of the electric Mac is down, since the attack trajectory of the baseball bat is semicircular, the direction in which Smog jumps back is exactly the direction of the end of the baseball bat's attack trajectory. In doing so, although it still did not dodge the attack of the baseball bat, it did not let the baseball bat hit the vital part bit, and Smog took the life of the electric mace with the advantage of the Malay sword and just dodged the attack. As for why the electric mace scolds the Malay dog, I believe everyone understands. After listening to Wang Fei's explanation, everyone nodded in understanding, and at the same time couldn't help but scold. Bah. It's really a Malay dog. Here, I have to say again about the origin of the name Malay dog. The Malay dog in CF refers to the behavior of a gamer who uses the Malay sword to press the left mouse button and tap all the time during a personal competitive knife fight. Due to the fast swing speed of the Malay sword and the large attack range, the player can always press the left mouse button to continue the combo. Therefore, players who habitually use this behavior are called Malay dogs. Explain your disgust for it at the beginning. After the function of this Malay sword was discovered by the players of the pirate world, many players were really affected by it, but Wang Fei did not pay attention to it, because since then, more people have bought Malay swords. However, players still hate Malay swords, and many players have made up a few words specifically for Malay dogs. The Malay dog goes straight in circles, press and hold the left button without letting go. The Malay dog jumped and trembled. It was photographed away before landing. Therefore, it is no wonder that Smog was called a Malay dog. After all, he defeated Arita with the speed of the Malay sword and the large attack range. Smog, who knew the truth. Tears fell. I just ended the battle with the most reasonable and efficient attack. How can I still be scolded? Time is ticking by. The afterglow of the sun is fading. Finally, the last second countdown to the game is over. Game over. Wang Fei raised his hand and drank. The race data will stop accruing from this second, and the game ranking will be ranked according to the data at this time. The players have also worked hard. Please leave the field now. The ranking of the competition will be counted this evening, and tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, the ranking will be officially announced. When the contestants heard this, they left the venue, and the audience began to disperse to go home for dinner. The sun finally set, and the East China Sea 100 Cities League, which lasted for 2 days, was finally finished today. Today I saw that someone is looking for Junayang. This is the Internet Cafe Member Symposium 458873. There is a network management robot in the Internet Cafe to play with everyone. Filu reminds you, 3 things to read, collect, if you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World. It means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 096. Today, the streets of Rogue are already full of people early in the morning. Today is also a special day, as the inaugural 100 Cities League will start announcing the rankings and awarding prizes today. The entrance to the Internet Cafe has long been occupied by people who come to occupy seats early in the morning, and they just want to further watch the demeanor of the technology gods. Finally, at 9 o'clock in the morning, Wang Fei walked out of the gate of the Internet Cafe. When Wang Fei walked out the next moment, the audience erupted like a wave all the way to the front of the stage. Wang Fei waved his hand to signal the audience to be quiet. First of all, I would like to thank all the players for their support and love for internet cafes. The first 100 Cities League was a great success. Well, there is not much to say, because the rules have changed, and there are 11 teams in this final. So after consideration, the rewards for 11th to 4th place are the same. Okay, first of all, let's applaud the 11th to 4th teams. Boom, the scene cheered and applauded in a large crowd. Next, Wang Fei began to roll call one team after another, and the team named was the 11th 4th participating teams of this year's 100 Cities League. 4th 11th place, each team has a memorial skeleton grenade worth 1.5 million Q, and will be rewarded with 1 million Q coins each. The skeleton memorial grenade will be engraved with the game ID of the winner, and each winning team will be issued an additional gold physical game badge specially made according to the ranking, and this special medal will also be displayed in front of the ID in the game, which is very commemorative. Let's congratulate them. 8 teams stood on the stage, medals in hand, or excited or bent over to give thanks. Of course, there are also people who are very upset. This person is Bucky. Due to internal tearing, Team Bucky's kills were pitiful. Ranking only 9th, such a low ranking made Bucky so angry that he scolded his mother on stage. What a broken game. How could Loud's team ranking be so low? I don't believe it. This must be an official fake. The more Bucky spoke, the more angry he became, and in the end, the dogger planned to do something to Wang Fei. Pity. The next second, Wang Fei grabbed Bucky's head with his right hand, and Bucky, who was electrocuted into an African, was thrown out of the field. Team Bucky was intent on provoking me, so the entire team cancelled the ranking, and the 5 memorial skeleton grenades won will be given away from 12th to 22nd place, and the 5 million Q coin reward received by the team will be divided equally among the teams ranked 12-140. Such a team also does not deserve to be in the top 10. Okay, Wang Fei clapped his hands and pulled everyone's attention back, then now announced the top 3 teams. The first 3rd places, Windmill Mountain Thief Standing Team, with a total of 107 enemies killed. Let's applaud them and invite them to the court. In the cheers, a woman who looked like a man and was stronger than a man walked up to the stage with 4 little brothers. These people Wang Fei knows. It is the adoptive mother of the 3 brothers of Luffy in Windmill Village, the Mountain Thief Kali. Originally, Wang Fei really didn't recognize these people, but due to the mistake of the Baki team, which was expected to win the top 3, this Windmill Thief team actually stood out and grabbed the 3rd place. Congratulations to the Windmill Mountain Thief team for winning the 3rd place and the 3rd place reward. Each team will have a commemorative crystal hand axe engraved with a personal ID worth 6 million Q, and each team will be rewarded with 1.5 million Q coins, and 1 gold ranking medal. After that, Wang Fei also handed the microphone to Da Dan's mouth and said, "Congratulations on winning the 3rd place. Do you have any thoughts now?" Da Dan laughed excitedly. Ha, I just want to quickly receive the Q coin reward now, and then exchange them all for money to improve the life of the thief's house. Wang Fei was stunned. He knew what Da Dan meant by exchanging Q coins for money. The equipment purchased with Q in the CF mall can be optionally gifted. They should just want to give other people's equipment in exchange for cash. Just be happy. After a long time, Wang Fei only said such a sentence. The next team in 2nd place will be announced, and the 2nd place will be the Mace team. The total number of enemies killed is 153. The captain of the Mace team, the electric mace strength and technology, I believe everyone knows. They won the 2nd place without any moisture. Then everyone applauds and welcomes them to the stage to receive the award. Arita took the stage with a few of her men, and people were surprised to learn that the electric mace turned out to be a woman, and a beautiful woman. Congratulations to the Mace team for winning the 2nd place, and the 2nd place reward. Each team will have a commemorative version of Commemorative Edition M4A1 crystal engraved with a personal ID worth 10 million Q, and each team will be rewarded with 2 million Q coins and 1 gold ranking medal. Do you feel about winning the second place? Wang Fei handed the microphone to Yarlita. I don't think about it, I came for the rose elf, but take whatever you have, and the crystal rifle is still acceptable. Wang Fei, huh? Then. Now it's the first place that everyone pays the most attention to. I believe that even if I don't say it, everyone should know who it is. That's right, the first place is the Smoke Beauty team. The Smoke Beautiful Man team, with a total of 210 enemies, with the presence of the 2 gods of Smoke Beauty Man and Cold RUO Refrigerator, it is already expected that this team will win the first place. Then someone from the Smoke Beauty team will appear next. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Philo Chapter 097. Please get the first place. Smoke Beauty Boy team, play, Wang Fei shouted. Many players and spectators in the audience burst into warm applause. With applause, Smug led several of his men to the scene, but soon some viewers noticed a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, huh? How did it come out with 4 people? And what about the other? Let me see. Smug is a Smoke Beautiful Man. Good and human is that. Guanbao Zhi's friend is that. Hawaii Shooting Day is that. What about Cold as a Refrigerator? And how did the Cold Refrigerator not come out? Everyone wondered. Are you curious about the true face of Cold Refrigerator? He came out later. Wang Fei said with a smile. In the next second, Kings he walked out from behind the stage. The scene, which was still noisy, suddenly fell silent. Full 2 minutes, not even a single one to speak. And after Kingsley came to the stage, he did not give a glance and stood straight on the stage. Haha, Wang Fei laughed. The Cold Refrigerator that everyone is curious about is coming out now. Why don't you speak? It's okay, young general and easygoing, don't worry. Seeing Wang Fei say such words, but there was still no slightest displeasure on Kingsley's face. Many players let go of their hearts, and the players of the competition were even more flattered. They did not expect that it was the Admiral who fought with them before, and there are many viewers in the audience who are stunned. I remember killing him in the first place. Yes, I still called him SB. I also sarcastically go to the hospital when he is sick. I laughed at him for being funny. I didn't expect him to be a general. It's over. He'll definitely take revenge on me. The chaos in the audience has become a mess. Wang Fei smiled uncontrollably on stage, and he turned the microphone childishly. Young general, the players in your stand are panicking now because they scolded you in the game. He took the microphone and said lightly, I think everyone's worries are too much. Games and reality are 2 different worlds, and I will not find trouble in reality because I am scolded in the game. And what I think, and should advocate, is that things in reality can be solved in reality, but things in the game I want everyone to solve in the game. After all, bringing things in the game to reality is not a man's approach. When Kingsley finished saying this, the voice of the system sounded, Ling. Congratulations to the host for successfully fooling Kingsley to participate in the competition. Because Kingsley has appeared, it has already had an advertising effect, and the system determines that the host has successfully completed the task. Ling. You've been rewarded with quests. 800 computer suits and 800 virtual reality helmets. The items have been put in the backpack, please check them. Hearing that the king in the background of the task was completed, Wang Fei couldn't help but be pleased, but the expression on his face remained the same, and he clapped his hands in agreement. Did you hear what the young general said? Rest easy, let's continue to present the awards. As soon as these words came out, the enthusiasm of everyone gradually returned. Then congratulations again to the Smoke Beauty team for winning the first place. The first place reward of the 100 City League, 1 for each team, is worth 46.66 million Q. 1 commemorative hero weapon M4 or 1 Rose Elf with a special melee attack and 1 gold medal for first place. Although the Rose Elf is not as high as the damage of another hero level weapon, the Fire Killin, its value is immeasurable. It represents not only a heroic weapon, but also the supreme glory. Let's give the applause to the champion once again, the Smoke Beauty team, the hit of the audience in the field. The mood was ignited again, and many players were extremely excited, as if they had won the championship, and the applause rose from wave to wave. Then, the first 100 Cities League is all over here. In addition, the 100 Cities League is held every 2 years. Thank you again to the audience, media, players, and top 140 contestants of this competition. Please wait in the internet cafe after the show, and the internet cafe will reimburse you for the return fee and the accommodation fee for these days to show your gratitude. Then, the competition is officially over. Please start dispersing in order, Wang Fei commanded on stage. At this moment, Wang Fei's eyelids suddenly jumped. He sensed great danger coming. Murderous. Who is it? Wang Fei was originally hot. Qiao's face suddenly turned into anger, and he shouted and looked in a certain direction. I saw a crescent-shaped sword key break through the air and come towards the stage with terrifying might. That target is directed at Wang Fei. It's not good. If I really want this sword to fall here, I'm afraid that not only the people on the scene will be injured, but my internet cafe doesn't need it. Wang Fei was secretly frightened. He didn't care about it anymore, stepped on it, and rushed directly towards the crescent-shaped sword like an off-string arrow. Charging halfway from the ground, Wang Fei stretched out his hand, and the electro knife condensed in his hand. Holding the electro knife high, Wang Fei slashed down at the coming crescent sword. A sword key condensed by the energy of the magnetic storm current was split out and slammed towards the crescent-shaped sword key. The two attacks collided in the air, and the two energies exploded in the air, and the huge impact airflow rushed down into the air, causing many people to be crushed and fell to the ground. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Philo Chapter 098. Two streams of energy exploded in the air, and countless people on the floor were shaken to the ground by the aftermath of the energy. The streets were billowing with smoke, but they did not obstruct Wang Fei's vision. Who is it? Actually shot secretly. Wang Fei said coldly and angrily, HMPH. Speaking of stealth shots, you are not qualified to laugh at me. When the words fell, a man wearing a black trench coat, a gentleman's hat, and a large black knife walked over from the street in the distance. Wang Fei's eyes narrowed. Dressed like this, the entire pirate will not have a second person. There is no doubt that the person who comes is Hawkeye, and only Hawkeye can emit such a powerful sword key. The arrival of Hawkeye also made the people present look dazed, and this attack without saying a word was even more confusing. Wang Fei stepped forward and said, His Majesty the Seven Wu. Hey Hawkeye, why did you suddenly attack me? Hawkeye smiled coldly. Huh? Ridiculous. Do you really not understand or fake? Wang Fei was stunned. He bared his head and thought for a while. I think this is the first time I have met you, right? I've never offended you before this. Hawkeye shook his head. Since you don't want to admit it, then I don't want to talk nonsense with you. Just kill you. After speaking, Hawkeye raised the black knife. Wait, Wang Fei raised his hand and said, If you want to fight, I will accompany you, but there are so many innocent people here, I don't want them to be caught up in the fight. King Shi also stood up at this time and said, I don't care if you want to fight, but you have to change places, otherwise I, as a navy, will never allow the people to be harmed. Hawkeye was stunned. It was obvious that he didn't expect King Shi to appear in such a place. I didn't expect that the young generals would be here. Well, choose a place to fight. King Shi nodded. Let's go to the beach. The three of them came to the beach first, followed by a large group of people who had not had time to disperse to join in the fun on the coast. King Shi stretched out his hand and slowly placed it above the surface of the water, and then his body erupted with earth-shattering cold air. The terrifying cold swept overseas, and in the blink of an eye, all the sea area of tens of miles was frozen. You two just fight on it. Such a big venue should be enough for you to fight. Qing Zhi said lightly. He glanced at Hawkeye, and then set his gaze on Wang Fei and took a deep look at Wang Fei. I would like to see what skills this person has besides the breath of a restraining ability. Qing Zhi secretly said in his heart. Wang Fei stood on the coast. I don't know where it was. At this time, the sound of the system sounded. Ling. Congratulations to the host for triggering the main quest. Mission requirements. Please defeat the world's first sword Hawkeye, and get it to promise to endorse the game Dungeons and Warriors in the future. Mission rewards. 2,300 computer suits, 6,000 virtual reality game helmets. The system's prompt sounded in his mind, and Wang Fei was a little puzzled. System, why the hell did this Hawkeye kill me? Ding. The reason for this is unknown to the system, but the system has detected that Hawkeye's consciousness contains a small amount of internet addiction mental pollution, so it cannot be ruled out that he wants to kill you because of this. Wang Fei was stunned. Wait, didn't you say last time that internet addiction mental pollution cannot have an effect on people with lieutenant general level strength? Ling. The ineffectiveness of the system means that people at the level of lieutenant general will not be polluted into internet addicts, and people at the level of lieutenant general have very strong willpower and can detect and ignore the erosion of mental pollution, but mental pollution will still exist in the other party's mind. Therefore, some time ago, when playing games in King's, the system will prompt whether to turn off the mental pollution for people with lieutenant general level strength, because the existence of such strength can already detect mental pollution. If it is not closed, the other party will offend the other party after detecting it, bringing unnecessary trouble to the host. Wang Fei was dumb. So, did Qing Zhi touch the computer before turning on the intelligent regulation of mental pollution? The small amount of mental pollution present in the other party's mind has proved the host's conjecture, and the host has the authority to manage the mental pollution and can independently recycle the spiritual pollution in anyone's mind. After speaking, the system is silent and no longer speaks. Hawkeye looked at Wang Fei coldly, with killing intent in his eyes. I remember that it was more than 10 days ago, and he planned to return to the castle of the New World after solving things from the sea restaurant at that time. It was already past 3 o'clock at night, and he felt a little hungry in the throne boat, so he came to a small town in the East China Sea in search of food. But unfortunately, it was late at night, and none of the shops were open. After searching for a long time, he saw the only shop in town that was still lit up, and this shop was the Internet Café. Since there is no Wang Fei's management, Internet cafes in other towns are open all night, and some people will also sell supper in Internet cafes. Hawkeye went into the Internet Café to eat, saw the Internet cafes, computers, etc. reported on the news every day, and inevitably had some curiosity, so he turned on the computer and played for a while. Suddenly, he felt something strange growing in his brain, and tried to affect his sanity. With strong willpower, he certainly would not let this strange thing affect his sanity. And he immediately suppressed this shareholder with his own willpower. But although this shareholder's eye was suppressed, it stayed in his mind forever like a tarsal maggot, and he couldn't drive it away. After thinking about it for a while, Hawkeye realized that this strange thing had been born since he started playing the game. He realized that this must be the network administrator often reported in the newspaper, Wang Fei's doing. Because this shareholder is bred by the games in the computer, and Wang Fei is the owner of these computers, therefore, he felt that he was secretly calculated. So today, he came to the door to kill Wang Fei. He thought that only by killing Wang Fei could he get rid of the strange things in his mind, and the people who secretly calculated themselves would definitely not take revenge. Difficulty breathing. It's almost 6 o'clock in the morning. Rest early, so let's change it first. I try to wake up in the afternoon, then 4, and 5 more if I can. And also, the people who sprayed hero-level weapons in the book review area did not read the book seriously. I'm too lazy to explain a sad face. To see the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Filu Chapter 099. On the shore, Wang Fei frowned, while Hawkeye had a murderous face. Husband, don't say goodbye. The other party is Hawkeye, who is known as the world's #1 swordsman. Nami stepped forward and said to Wang Fei nervously. Wang Fei smiled. It's okay, wife, don't worry, I'm your husband. Can't you trust me? Little Luling also trotted forward. Big brother, don't worry, I have eaten enough in the past few days. If he dares to hurt you, I'll help you beat him. Saying that, he was afraid that Wang Fei would not believe it, and raised his fist. Wang Fei rubbed Luoling's hair. Well, if I can't beat little Luoling, let's help, but big brother should be able to do it, don't worry. After that, Wang Fei walked to the beach. You guys feel free, the ice is about 20 meters thick, enough for you to toss casually. Qing Zhi, I was bored, let's go. Mr. Hawkeye, in the crowd, Dex Sinkian hid in a hidden corner with a camera. Her face was a little worried. This network administrator, it really fought with Hawkeye, Alice, so worried about him. If he wins, I will make headlines, and if he wins, I will not report. On the sea, Wang Fei and Hawkeye looked at each other. Mr. Hawkeye, let me ask you a question before I begin. Have you ever touched a computer game before? Hawkeye glanced sideways at Wang Fei and said, it seems that you finally admitted it. Then you got the strange thing in my mind, right? Wang Fei nodded. I got it, because the computer technology was not mature at that time, so I didn't intend to offend Mr. Hawkeye. Please forgive me. I also remembered this after I just noticed that there were traces of mental pollution on you. After speaking, Wang Fei stretched out his hand and grabbed Hawkeye, and Hawkeye suddenly felt refreshed, and the strange things in his mind could no longer be sensed. Mr. Hawkeye's mental contamination has been completely removed, and as an apology, I will definitely give you some satisfactory compensation. Wang Fei's attitude and explanation eased Hawkeye's anger slightly, but it didn't mean that this was the case. You are very good at being a person, but whether you secretly calculate whether it is intentional or unintentional, it has already happened, and I will not just forget it, Hawkeye said lightly. Wang Fei nodded. I know what Sir wants to say, just right. I also want to learn the strength of the world's #1 swordsman. As for the rest, let's finish fighting first, and how will we talk after you're angry? Yes. If you're still alive by then, Hawkeye promised. The conversation between the two was conducted on the sea, and the people on the coast could only see the two talking from a distance, but what they were talking about was unknown. On the frozen sea, there was a thick white mist, and the words of the two had already been discussed, and after glancing at each other, the fierce battle immediately began. Wang Fei unfolded his electric light, stepped forward, stepped directly on the ice with his right foot, and pushed his body towards Hawkeye with the force of recoil. In the process of collision, Wang Fei's body burst into a fiery electric arc, turning into dazzling blue light from the surface of the sea. When he was about to arrive in front of Big Hawkeye, he stretched out his hand, and the electro knife condensed in his hand, and then raised the electric knife with both hands and slashed at Hawkeye's head. Hawkeye's eyes were focused. He held a black knife, and after dancing a sword flower, he also followed the slash. Bang! The electric knife collided with a black knife. A terrifying explosion exploded on the surface of the sea. Under the huge force, the frozen sea began to crumble into ice. Slag centered on the two of them, and an oversized ice pit appeared in place. The blow was unsuccessful, and Wang Fei was not discouraged, because he knew that if Hawkeye won it like this, then he would not be the world's #1 swordsman. Hawkeye's eyes flashed with a sharp blade-like light, and he pushed the black knife up with one hand, directly setting up Wang Fei's electro knife, and then raised the knife to sweep across, and the blade light whistled towards Wang Fei's waist. Wang Fei's expression was calm. The knife in front of him was extremely dangerous, and a careless one was the fate of being cut off from the waist, but it was obvious that he could not have been injured by this knife. His eyes narrowed. Wang Fei stepped down, but this time the cast was not an electric light step, but an upgraded version of the electric light step. Electric light, reverse flash. With the passage of time, Wang Fei's understanding of magnetic storm current has also deepened. Don't look at him every day looking at the internet cafe. But he has never forgotten the research and understanding of magnetic storm current. This electric lightning reverse flash is one of the achievements of Wang Fei during this time. The electric light step is to use the impetus of the arc to push the human body to accelerate the movement. The electro lightning reverse flash is the effect of using the power of magnetic storm current to change the magnetic field, absorb one's body to another position, and reach the reverse position. I saw that when Hawkeye's knife fell, Wang Fei's footsteps also stepped down, and when he stepped down, Wang Fei's body transformed into an afterimage of the Dao. His body was absorbed by a magnetic force, and he was rapidly distorted from Hawkeye's body, and when he appeared again, Wang Fei had come behind Hawkeye. At this time, Hawkeye slashed down, but it was straight into the air, achieving a reversal from front to back. Wang Fei came behind Hawkeye, and he raised his knife and slashed at Hawkeye's back again. Feeling the crisis coming from behind, Hawkeye's heart jumped, and the instinct and intuition of the strong man made him rotate 180 degrees to face behind him without hesitation, set up a black knife to block in front of him, and immediately withdrew and retreated. Bang! The two soldiers collided, and electric light bloomed on the ice. There are 3 more chapters. Start writing right away. Philu reminds you, 3 things to read. Collect. Chapter 100. Bang! The two soldiers collided, and brilliant electric light bloomed on the sea. Wang Fei used the reverse flash to come behind Hawkeye to suddenly attack, so that Hawkeye could not guard against it at all. Hurriedly set up the sword, although he successfully blocked Wang Fei's slash, but because of his unstable figure, he was shaken by the huge force carried by the slash, and his body smashed on the ice. Smashing the ice surface cracked. With a flick of the electric knife, the corner of Wang Fei's mouth set off a warlike smile. He has been in the pirate world for so long, and it has been a long time since he obtained the magnetic storm current, but every day except for watching the internet cafe, he has not had a chance to show his skills. Later, he obtained the water spirit body of the person who restrained the ability. So even Kingsley is not his own enemy, and now Hawkeye, a powerful opponent who is not an ability, appears in front of him, which makes Wang Fei. How can he not be excited? After the start of the fight, Wang Fei's fighting intent has been aroused, and now even if Hawkeye shouts to stop, he will not stop. On the coast, tens of thousands of onlookers were in an uproar. They all saw the scene of Wang Fei repelling Hawkeye just now, and the people present never expected that the hospitable network administrator who usually sits in the bar has such a strong strength. Holding a knife in one hand, the tip of the knife pointed straight at Hawkeye, and Wang Fei's eyes burned with the fire of battle intent. "Come on, Mr. Hawkeye, I'm looking forward to a fight with you. Let it go, let's have a good time." Hawkeye stood up and looked at Wang Fei. At the moment he had no hatred for Wang Fei, some were just respect between opponents. He smiled and said, "Yes, I haven't had a fight with a redhead since I had a fight a few years ago. Life and death are safe. I will use my true strength." After speaking, Hawkeye closed his eyes. He stood straight on the ice, and then raised the black knife to his shoulder, and the tip of the black knife pointed directly at this Wang Fei. Hawkeye, who closed his eyes, seemed to have reached an ethereal state, and he had no distractions, as if he was focusing all his attention on the knife in his hand. Wang Fei on the opposite side did not make a move to block. He really wanted to see what kind of move this young child planned to release. A silent cold wind blew on the ice, and the gloomy wind made the hair of the two a little messy. At this moment, Hawkeye opened his eyes, his pupils suddenly shrunk, and his eagle-like eyes had locked onto Wang Fei. Then, the black knife set up by Hawkeye stabbed straight out, a line of fulcrums. Broken void. The black knife stabbed out, and the invisible energy gathered into a bundle. Blasted towards Wang Fei not far away. The sword key is like a laser cannon, although it cannot be seen, but the fear it carries is earth-shattering. I saw an invisible sword key with a radius of 1 meter bombarding Wang Fei in a straight line, with a powerful destructive force, and the ice layer that passed was upside down and shattered and was shaken into ice slag. Wang Fei, who was about 50 meters away from Hawkeye, looked calm. He looked at the powerful sword key that came from the roll of countless ice chips, and silently dispersed the electro knife in his hand. Before the sword key arrived, the fierce cold wind as sharp as a steel knife had already struck first. Wang Fei looked calm. He raised his right arm, and the muscles in his arm rose. At the same time, countless currents also converged on his right arm, covering the entire arm blue. It seems to be very slow to describe, but from the sword key emitted by the eagle eye to the gathering of electricity in Wang Fei's arm, the whole process is actually not less than 2 seconds at all. When the sword key reached him, Wang Fei no longer hesitated, raised his fist and blasted at the destruction sword key. Flash spiral strike. One punch fell, the fist collided with the sword key of destruction. Snap. At the time of the collision, a huge sound like thunder shook all directions, and countless dazzling currents gathered on Wang Fei's fist. The current was like a funnel. The pointed one hit the sword key, and the larger one protected Wang Fei inside, so that it was protected from the sword key. After that, the funnel began to rotate. It was like a drill. While blocking the destruction sword key, it also rotated wildly, quickly disintegrating the eagle-eye's sword key. Break. Wang Fei burst into laughter, and his right arm pushed forward heavily. Boom. The sword key was broken, and the terrifying energy exploded above the ice. A small mushroom cloud rises above the sea. The mushroom cloud had not yet dispersed, and Hawkeye stood in place with a black knife in hand. Nami and Daxinkian on the coast were so nervous that they both mentioned their throats, and if they hadn't been stopped by smog, I am afraid that they would have been unable to resist rushing up because the Mandalike is now involved in the explosion. Life and death are unknown. Compared with everyone's nervousness, Luo Ling still seemed to be a nobody, and she bit the stick. Lollipop said, "Sisters, don't worry, Big Brother will be fine." Really? The next moment the smoke and dust were broken, and Wang Fei rushed out from the smoke like lightning. Moreover, the electric light in his hand has not yet dissipated. The flash spiral strike is divided into 2 parts. Wang Fei used the spiral strike to break the sword key attack before, but there is also the first half of the flash that is useless. I saw that after Wang Fei came out of the smoke, a burst of electric light exploded on his body, and then his figure blurred, turning into a blazing blue electric light in the air, and the electric light flashed, and instantly rushed to Hawkeye's body from 50 meters away. Hawkeye flabbergasted. But when he reacted and was about to fight back, but he found that Wang Fei had crashed into his body, and the right arm that gathered the current also slammed into his abdomen. Filu reminds you, 3 things to read, collect. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.